exposed. Let's talk about it. X-Rayted Sports Network. If it's game time talk, we the ones who connect. X-Rayted Sports Network.
Okay, I want to tell y'all something. We got a big old show for you today. It's Beyond the Surface on the X-Rated Sports Network. It's a big old show. I'm not sure 3 hours are going to contain this show. Hang in there with us. This is the best content you're going to see today in the sports world. 3 o'clock Eastern time, we have Caron Butler, NBA champion, Miami Heat assistant coach, dear friend of mine. And then at 4 o'clock, we have Marshawn Lynch joining the show. Beast mode! And shout out to Katie Felber for booking Marshawn. Katie, it's so good to have you back down in our LA studios with the great AM Pfeffer. It's so great to have you back, AM. But Katie Felber, shouts to you,
great
girl.
To be here, you guys. I have my Cal hoodie. I was telling them I bought this when I was 19, almost 20 years ago, the year that I met Marshawn at Cal. So I'm going to put it on when he comes on, and hopefully it still fits. We'll see.
She's got bits, too. I love this. I love this. We have AM back after a week off. We, of course, have the lovely and talented Dwight Walton. Let's go.
Woo!
Thank you.
And the insufferable Dr. X is going to be here at some point for like pretty much a full show. He and Soleil have been gallivanting around the world, having the time of their lives. She's been singing, he's been working, they've been vacationing, but funny, Knicks in the finals, week of, Doc is back. Coincidence? I don't know. I'll let you all interpret that. But we got Caron Butler and Marshawn Lynch coming up. Dr. X is going to be with us. I'm just psyched. I'm like boundless energy right now. So probably a pretty good idea to dive into the show. We have a finals prediction, okay? And we're going to split it up like later in the show. We're going to tell you who's going to win, and we're also going to tell you who we're rooting for. For me, it's two different answers. But, guys, Wemby is in the finals, first playoff run of his career in his third season. This is scary hours for the NBA. It took Michael Jordan 7 years to make his first finals. It took Kobe 4 years to make his first finals. LeBron, 4. Curry, 6. Okay? Wemby has beaten all those GOATs in speed to the finals. It's incredible. So here's the question. How many rings will Wemby win? How many? We're looking ahead here, okay? The Wemby dynasty may or may not begin right now, but we know this dude is going to win some rings. How many? I'll go first. It's 6. Same number as Jordan and Kareem. 1 below Tom Brady. 1 more than Jada. 1 more than Kobe, Magic, and Duncan. Ori has 7, but he's in a different kind of lane, right? Bill Russell has 11. Wemby's going to get 6, okay? I'm going with 6 because I don't want to be disrespectful to Jordan and Kareem, 1 and 2 on my all-time rankings. It feels a little presumptuous to say he's going to have 8. All right, let's do, I want history to matter here because history pretty much always matters. Guys, 6 is an insane amount of rings, okay? 2 of the best of all time got 6. So that's the bar that the 2 best of all time for me. So that's the bar I'm setting for Wemby because there will be competition. There will be other teams like the Knicks posing a serious threat. Brunson, SGA, Edwards, Jokic, Luka, Tatum, others all going to have something to say about this. Curry and Golden State won't, sorry. But Wemby will not win 8 straight titles like the Russell Celtics did in the 60s. The CBA is going to work against that. The overall talent in the league is going to work against that. But for the next 10 years, the road to the gold ball goes through San Antonio, including this year, okay? So good luck. Come and get it. But I got Wemby with 6. I want to go to Dwight Walton. Dwight, look. Oh, we have the insufferable Dr. X. Okay. Dr. X!
What up?
Welcome to the finals. Welcome to the finals, Dr. X.
I appreciate it, man. It's been great.
Oh, baby. All right, so before I go to you with this question, come on, man. Give us a little download. Give us a little download. We've seen the stuff on IG.
Rick, why?
Hold on. No. Hold on a second. I have a legit question. Did you
Yeah.
guys hire a photog? Or is that
No.
you and Shalea and just other people taking the
Yeah.
shots? Because the pictures have been phenomenal.
I appreciate that. That's all Shalea, but like pretty much it was this Shalea and I and a tripod that literally
Nice.
acts as my little baton weapon that we carry around just in case.
I love it. Favorite place you visited,
Ooh,
Doc?
very nice, baby. Very nice. Okay.
Oh boy. Here we go.
Sorry, baby girl's
Favorite,
leaving to an event.
yeah, I
Hmm.
hear you, man. I hear you. Dude, favorite place you went
I
on the
will.
trip?
You said my favorite place on trip was Lake Como. It reminds me a lot of Switzerland, which was one of my favorite ecosystems to visit. And I just love that it was in Italy. So you got that Italy flavor, but you also get the topography of Lake Como and or similar to Switzerland. I would say next up was Cappadocia, which was Turkey, and it was because of the hot air balloon experience as well as the shape of those mountains that look like eggshells, or whatever you could think of in that regard. But those were like otherworldly destinations. I like specific ecosystems like that are otherworldly. Venice was one of those, but we didn't go there that time. But yeah, Venice, something like that. So it was amazing, man. I missed you guys. You guys were killing it. I saw from afar and love where everybody was holding it down. Katie, thank you for your contribution today as well. And Dwight, thank you for being gruff and just holding it down in the way you usually do with all
Rough.
your gruffness. AM, we're nearing a very cool transition for AM with something we'll announce later on, and so excited for that for you, AM, and we will keep it popping.
We
Thank you,
will
Rick.
indeed. Yeah,
Love
Doc,
it.
you got it. It's a blessing to have you back. Glad you and Shalea had the time of your lives, and now it's back to fun, not work, but fun. How
Let's
many
go.
rings? How many rings is Wemby going to end up with, Doctor X?
Oh man, I don't
This
think it's
is
gonna
your
be
question, by the way.
six.
This is your
Yeah, I know, I
question, by the
know,
way. I
I
loved it so
know, I
much. We're
know.
leading the show with it, bro. How many
But
how many
see,
rings does Wemby get?
I'll leave with this. Like, I don't want to be a hater, right? Because I like Wimby a lot. And so I don't want to
Damn.
like downplay him. And then I don't want to overestimate. If I downplay him, then I'm like rooting for him not to get those rings, right? Because I want to be right. But I don't want to like overdo it and sound like LeBron when he went to Miami either. But I'll say this: he's not winning a ring this year.
Yeah.
He's not. He's not. He's not
Mm.
even coming close.
Facts.
And
Not
and
even
and
close.
no and I don't have no disrespect for Wimby's emotion, but the Knicks are going to give him something to cry about. Moving on from that, I will say that Wimby will probably get equivalent. So Tim Duncan won 5 rings, right? And he had a lot of help in between some of those. Man, this is tough. I'm gonna go with 3 rings. He's gonna get 3 rings.
Okay. Oh, dude, I love this question. Okay, Doc's got Wemby with 3. Any further explanation, or should we go to your
Well,
cuz next?
I'll also say there's because of the parity of the NBA. I don't think he'll ever get a three-peat. He's not going to get a three-peat. I won't go as far as say he won't get a back-to-back, but he's definitely not getting a three-peat. And I think he'll max out at 3. They'll probably be separated by a year or two, and I think that's what he'll get. And who knows? I mean, I wish him a long career, but that height, I don't know too many people that have had long, successful careers with that height. So I'm gonna say I hope he bare minimum gets 16 years. But I think Wimby's gonna do a lot of losing, just like Wilt Chamberlain did.
Great answer, man. Great answer to his own question. Dwight Walton, you're next. I say 6. Doc says 3. How many rings for Wemby?
Well, I'm glad my cousin ended his response with what he just said because I was about to say, as the resident doctor on our platform, I'm surprised he hasn't gone with the injury route. And I don't want to be the bearer of negative news or negative prognostication, but the average career for a player of Wembanyama's height in the NBA is 3 to 4 seasons. And my hope and my prayer for Wembanyama is to have a long and successful career. So for me to go on record and to say that he's going to win 5 or 6 championships goes against the mean and the average. So I'm glad that Wembanyama is having the opportunity to go after championships early in his career because the wear and tear on a player's body of that size, that athletic ability, that type of activity is going to be tough. He's already falling on the ground like a baby giraffe. And I don't mean that to be funny. It's just reality. He needs to get stronger. He's going to be absorbing a lot of contact. Isaiah Hartenstein's defense on Wembanyama in the Western Conference Finals are just the start of the reality of what he's going to see for the rest of his career. So can he withstand that? Mentally, for sure, he could withstand it. Physically, can he withstand it? We all know how tough he is. We all know how motivated to win he is. We all know how motivated he is to be great, to be a multi MVP winner and championship winner in the NBA. He has prepared his life since he was a young child to do this, to withstand all of this. But my concern is his health, the injury concern. He plays hard. He's not your typical 7'5" or 7'4" rim protector and just a big body on the court because he's tall. He does everything, guards the entire floor, if you will, like a NFL defensive back. He cuts off the entire backcourt of a team's offense. Just think about that for a minute. Then the responsibility is only going to get better from here in terms of his offense. So the hope is that as he gets older, he understands where he can and shouldn't take breaks. Again, my only concern is his health. The average career is 3 to 4 years. I hope and pray that we get to endure and witness a 10 to 15 year career from Victor Wembanyama. I'm glad he's getting to the finals now because I'm not so sure how his body will withstand all of this pressure over the course of the next 10 to 15 years. I hope he gets 2 to start. I'll say it at that. He has a chance this year, but I'll give it 2 right now. The average years for a player that height doesn't speak to 5 or 6 championships.
Wow. Doc, you have hit a home run with this question, my friend. Wow. I got 6. Doc has 3. Dwight has 2. Katie Felber, you're up next. How many rings for Wemby?
Okay, so I'm going to go with either 3 or 6, and I'll just tell you why for each. So 3, I do think definitely the injuries is something to keep in mind. When he fell during the second quarter of game 2 versus the Trailblazers, like I was kind of triggered. I got scared for him, I'm not going to lie. He hit the ground hard, you guys. That being said, I do think he's an alien, and I myself am an alien from the Pleiades star cluster, and the universe is structured by 3s, 6, and 9s, okay? 3, 6, and 9s. It's the mathematical foundation of the universe. So if he is actually an alien, it's going to be either 3 rings or 6. And if he is a Nordic alien or a Pleiades, and I'll circle back on that later, he's here to elevate consciousness and perhaps elevate the NBA. So, you know, if he stays healthy, I think we're looking at 6.
Nice.
I love it. I love
I
it.
like that. I like that.
She went beyond our atmosphere for that answer. That you want to talk about beyond the surface, Doc? Holy freaking cow! That was amazing right there. Well done, Katie. All right, AM Pfeffer, how many rings is Wemby getting fitted for?
Yo, before I even answer this question, so far we're not even 10 minutes of this show. We've already used words like ecosystem, topography, and Pleiades universe. Like, we are off to a hot start today. We're in AFFers universe, I can tell you that. I'm happy to be back, everybody. So good to see all of you. My answer is 4. He's going to win 4 rings. And I'm going to actually take the optimistic view on Wemby here for a second and his size and his ability to have what I would think is about a 12 to 14-year career. There's a couple guys when you think of the size who are concerning. Manute Bol is concerning. Sean Badley is concerning. Chet Holmgren is concerning. But Lou Alcindor / Kareem Abdul-Jabbar had it, right? Yao Ming was a concern, and you see what happened to him. Rick Smits and his feet were a concern. You see what happened to him. Wemby is a different guy. Wemby, of course, is an alien, but there's one thing about Wemby that none of them have, and that is the ability to step back and hit that three. And there's the longevity in his career. He's going to evolve into a different player as the years go along. San Antonio is going to, or whoever he ends up with, and I'm sure San Antonio has not let him out of that building so fast, or at least for a decade. But where he ends up, who he ends up with, they're going to pair him correctly. And there's a way for him to play defense and eat up space and run the floor that isn't insane. There's guys who have to rely on their athleticism. John Moran, who have shorter years. Blake Griffin, right? The dunker of all dunkers. And then you see what happens to them in their body. This is a different type of guy. This is a different type of career we're going to see with Wemby. Yeah, he's young and he's excited and he's doing all the things and he's balling out and he's killing himself on the floor the right way. But that's all going to be managed. So I expect him to have a longer career. However, I don't expect him, to answer the question of how many rings you're going to win is so hard to answer. How many Defensive Player of the Years is he going to win? If he's around for 10 years, he's going to win 8 or 9. How many MVPs? That could be 5 or 6. Rings is rings, man. It's almost impossible to predict. Anything could happen. Just look what Oklahoma City happened to them. Everybody expected them to kind of start of the year, and especially how they started to stroll back into the finals. Didn't happen. So, it's fluid in the NBA. Teams are reloading. Teams are figuring out. There's so much more parity. But even if he has a 4-ring career, what a career it would be. 4. That's my answer.
Okay.
All right, mark it down. Doc has 3. I have 6. Katie has 6. Dwight has 2. AM has 4. That is incredible. Doc, well done. I mean, the guy's on vacation. He's on boat sending us the dopest topic in the playoffs right there. Doc, you the man. I mean, he's just messing around and coming up with great content here. Okay. Doc, I want you to go first on this next one, man.
Yeah.
Who has more pressure to win now? Jalen Brunson or Victor Wembanyama?
Jalen Brunson, hands down. He's older. He doesn't have the metrics that speak to success, even though I disagree with that. It's who you surround him with and the way he plays, with his footwork kind of counteracts his size. And he's known that his whole life and he has adjusted accordingly. But I would say Brunson because you're in the finals. And I hate when people say the East is weak, but technically it's only going to get harder next year when you have Tatum that's probably going to be back at the peak of his powers. Teams might be a little bit stronger in terms of their depth. There's other teams out there that, I'm sure Detroit's going to add somebody, so all they need is add a couple scorers and they might be a problem again. So with all that said, right now is the time. You're 4 wins away and you've been knocking on the door for about 3 years. And all the things have aligned. The chemistry is aligned, the enthusiasm, the coaching, the cities behind you. It's the perfect matchup. And you get to go against Victor Wembanyama, which will be one of the most classic finals ever, which I'm sure is going to be repeated on so many hoops, history, and all this other stuff. The biggest market in the world with the alien there. We don't have to worry about all this foul baiting stuff. It's going to be a breath of fresh air to watch this series. Even though I had the Knicks winning, I know I originally said 6 and I went to 5 just to be an a-hole in some respects about it. But regardless, it's going to be fun to watch this series. But to answer your question, Rick, it's the pressure is more on Brunson to get it done now because Wemby is only going to be filling out his body even more. God forbid he gets a Giannis body type at the peak of his powers.
Woo.
And then, what are we going to be doing there? So, and then they're going to surround him with the right people, instead of Luke Cornett. I mean, for all we know, Giannis didn't end up on the Spurs. What are you going to do then? You know what I mean? So really don't know. Now is the time for Brunson to win. I think even though Vegas doesn't have them as the favorites, I had them as the favorites. I think the odds in their favor, especially when you look at the matchups and how they played against each other. I just feel like the Knicks have what it takes, all the tools to mitigate the others on the San Antonio Spurs, as well as to make it very hard for Wemby. But this is why it's even more exigent for Brunson to win now, because it's in his favor, and they know it too. And so it'd be a bigger disappointment if the Knicks don't get it done right now.
AM, as I go to you, I think we just got another big word. I'm not exactly what exigent. What?
Exigent? Or
Exigent,
what was it?
exigent.
Hey,
Is that a verb?
Yeah.
okay.
Urgency.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm learning. I'm over here taking notes. So AM, more
That's
pressure
one
to
of my
win.
wife's that's one of my wife's favorite words. So I kind of
It's a
adopted that
great
from her.
word. Oh,
Shout out to Shalea,
Oh,
exigent.
I love where
Well
this.
done.
I love where this show has gone 60 plus episodes in where we've all met. It just warms.
I'm
my
smarter when I'm around
Wait.
her. We just been
It's,
around each
Yes.
other
no,
for
no,
like
Phil.
99%.
It's in the family, Phil. You know
Yeah, I
how
know,
my
I know, I
mom
know.
was. You know how
Of
my mom
course.
was with the words in the street. Yeah, so it's in the family, dude.
And you are too. Yes.
Aw.
AM, go ahead, man. More pressure to win now.
Before I answer this question, guys, if you'll allow me just a quick moment, Dwight, allow me to indulge myself. The Knicks are in the finals.
Ooh.
I'm doing a little dance.
Ooh.
I'm doing a little. We haven't even gotten there yet. I don't even give it. I don't even know what I'm doing. The
Clock
limbs.
it.
Yeah, can we? That's what I'm saying. Thank you.
Clock it.
Thank you.
I'm
Dwight
just your
London.
hype woman.
The answer is Brunson. It's so much more pressure on Brunson. I mean, this is New York, baby. That alone is bringing all the pressure. That is NYC. That is tri-state area. That is history of the Knicks. 99, of course, against the Spurs, which we're going to talk about in a minute. Last time they were even there. And then obviously you're going way back into the 70s before they won anything. What do we got? 54, 55 years, if I'm doing the math correctly. So, come on. The Spurs have won plenty in between now and then. No one expected them to be there. I don't need to rant and take up too much more of everybody's time. This is on Brunson. I mean, Brunson's been in the league a lot longer. He is absolutely the one who's going to feel more pressure, and pressure's on him. But he's up to the challenge. I just want to throw that out there before I pass the baton here. This is Jalen Brunson, who is as cool as a cucumber, if there ever was one.
I mean, just to piggyback off of that, I think it was 52 years. Spike Lee was 15 years old. I wasn't born. Wemby was in the Pleiades star cluster, preparing to descend on humanity. And now here we are. I mean, obviously, in 1999, you saw the Spurs Knicks. I was 12. I was in 7th grade, taking care of my Tamagotchi and not paying attention to basketball. But the Spurs won, I think, in 1999 then. Right?
Oh, not only did they won in 5 back in 90s.
So I think there's so much more on the line right now for Jalen Brunson. I think that the pressure that Wemby faces is from himself. You guys saw him in the press conference. He was like, I'm basically playing for a ring as if my life depends upon it. So I think that that pressure is self-generated, but you've got the whole city, the whole tri-state area rooting for the Knicks. And honestly, myself included, but we'll get to that later.
Great point on the self-implied pressure by Wemby. Great point by that. I would say a lot more than the external pressure going on Wemby. As Dwight Walton, it is your turn. More pressure to win now.
Well, this is where I'm conflicted with my response, to piggyback off of what Katie, AM, and what you just said, and to be sort of go against my take about how many championships will Wembanyama win. The question should ask, who has more pressure to win now? Is it the Knicks or the rest of the league or Wemby? Because if Wembanyama stays healthy, and if the Knicks, to my cousin's point, don't win it this season, when will the Knicks and the rest of the NBA have any opportunity to win a championship? Because based on how he's playing, and you've heard me say it, this is the worst that we're going to see of Victor Wembanyama. He's still a work in progress on the offensive end. He's already, to me, in my humble opinion, the greatest defensive player that I've ever seen. And to AM's point, he might win 9, 10, And just depending on how many years he's healthy in the NBA, he may win 9 or 10 of those Defensive Player of the Year awards. So the pressure, and besides all the New York stuff, yes, that's pressure in and of itself. But because of how great the Wembanyama and the Spurs are projected to be, the pressure is now on Brunson, the Knicks, and the rest of the NBA to win now. Because you're going to see so many roster movements this offseason because of Victor Wembanyama. We understand that other teams are going to go through the process of trying to build through the draft and make supplementary moves to improve their rosters. However, the contenders, Oklahoma City Thunder, are definitely in this conversation, are going to make changes because they're trying to win now, as this question is indicating. So the pressure is on Brunson and the Knicks and the rest of the NBA to win now because you want to get Wembanyama and the Spurs right now.
I love it, man. I have a very similar answer to you guys, so I'm gonna kind of fast forward through my stuff here because I cannot wait to go to Doc for this next question that we have. This question right here. It's Brunson and Jalen Brunson in my opinion. I got Wemby winning 6. Okay. Could win more, could win less. I got him winning 6. And like I said, the next 10 years, the next decade, the championship goes through San Antonio. I totally believe that. Whether they win it or not, like you're going to have to go to San An and beat them and shock the world Rick Barry style and Dirk Nowitzki style and do all that kind of stuff, okay? Brunson and the Knicks are the league's last hope, as I view it. They better get Wemby now. Do you guys understand how unstoppable Wemby's going to be next year? There is no more maniacal player in North American professional sports than Victor Wembanyama. You can throw any baseball player at me, I'm batting it down. Any football player, I'm batting it down. This is the most serious ball player I've seen since Kobe Bryant. The only thing he wants is heart extraction. Your heart. It's the only thing he wants. Okay? I mean, this dude is out for it's like next level. So win or lose, guys, Wemby has an off-season regimen that includes a trip to Pluto for a plutonium transplant, okay? He's going to add plutonium to his veins. Oh, yeah. You guys know what plutonium does, right? It powers nuclear weapons, okay? And what do I call Wemby? He's the greatest weapon of mass destruction we've ever seen in NBA history. And he's going to add plutonium to that? It's a wrap. More pressure on Brunson. All right, I'm going to go second on this, but I want Doc to go first on this. Doc, is this finals a true David versus Goliath? Professional sport.
It depends on which vacuum you're looking at. If you're just looking at the best player in each team, then yes, it is. I have a picture with Jalen Brunson, clearly taller than him. I would say he's probably 5'11".
Wait. Are you serious? Like in real life and actuality, you think Brunson's?
I can confirm that. I was there with Phil. I can confirm that.
I'm not incredulous. I'm just kind of shocked.
Really? That's what shoes on or boots on, whatever he had on. He was a strong 5'11". Maybe 6 feet with the hat and the hair, but my shoulders were clearing his. My head was clearing his. I was taller. Like I'm technically 6'3". I'm like 6'2 3/4 or whatever. But yeah. So based off of that, and I hate when people say Wemby's 7'5". He's 7'4". I'm going based off of what the NBA says, and the people say 7'6", 7. He's 7'4". All right. There have been taller people than Wemby in NBA. I think what makes Wemby special is his ability to handle the rock and shoot the ball, do step backs the way he moves. But Bobo was doing that too. I am impressed with Wemby, obviously, and it's really his defensive prowess, the way he shrinks the floor. So with that said, it is David versus Goliath, and I think obviously the shorter person is going to be Brunson, who's David. What's I want to see is how Brunson adjusts his game, because, people are saying it's your thought process that changes when you're around Wemby. And Brunson does a lot of pivots, a lot of fakes, and then once he gets that little space, he can get a shot up. But Wemby negates all of that. The only thing is that we actually have a lot of enough footage to see that Brunson will still get his. Brunson's averaging 26 points per game against Wemby. I'm not worried about it. Brunson will get his. He'll pick his moments. He knows when to shoot. And a lot of people, I think the Knicks as a team know when and when not to challenge Wemby. But yeah, to answer your question, yes, it is a true David versus Goliath. However, I think the Knicks are a better team. We've also proved it in the Cup game. We also proved it at home after Wemby was off of minutes restriction and we blew them out. They also barely beat us, kind of like the Hawks barely beat us in games 2 and 3. That's what happened when we went to San Antonio and went to overtime. And Champagnie had the best game of his life, and maybe in the NBA. And Champagnie had about, I think, was it 8, 9, or 10 threes that game, just to send it to overtime. And then he continued to hit threes, and that's the only way they won. And just to top that off, there was no Josh Hart, there was no Mitchell Robinson, and there was no Landry Shamet. So all that said, the Knicks have a better squad. So in terms of squads, it's not David versus Goliath. In terms of best player in each team, it is definitely a David versus Goliath.
Phenomenal answer. We have a phenomenal guest, two-pack coming up. Caron Butler, assistant coach with the Miami Heat, obviously NBA champion, will join us at 3 Eastern. Marshawn Lynch, that's right, beast mode, will join us at 4 p.m. Eastern time. All right, so is this finals a true David versus Goliath? I believe it is. The Spurs have won 5 rings since 1999. The New York Knicks have won finals trip since 1999. The Knicks have 0 rings since 1973. I'm not rubbing it in. I'm looking even beyond the construction of these teams to the history of these organizations. That speaks also to a David versus Goliath. The Spurs basically print titles. They go to frickin' clear signs. Hey, could you just run, we want championship t-shirts. Okay. Well, we got Wemby now, so, we're not being presumptuous. The Knicks traumatize their fans like a gory horror movie. It's all I hear from you Knicks fans. Oh, it's the trauma. It's born of the trauma. I've been traumatized. And you're right. Trust me. As a Minnesota sports fan, I can so relate to that trauma. Okay. I mean, my Twins have lost like 18 straight playoff games, dude. 18 straight MLB record, right? Trauma. Okay. My Vikings in my last game as a fan went to Philly, scored the first touchdown, and they gave up like 800 points and never scored again. Okay. Trauma. I can relate. But the Knicks, think about this too. When we juxtapose franchises, the San Antonio Spurs, in my opinion, are the best and most consistent drafters of our lifetimes. Manu, Parker, Duncan was a given, Wemby was a given, but Bowen and all the other studs and Castle and Harper and Carter Bryant, and they just don't miss, okay? The Knicks drafted Frederick Weiss, 15th overall, talked to Vince Carter about him. The Knicks talked to Phil Jackson about this horse bleep draft pick. Frank Ntilikina, 8th overall? Phil. I think Phil was smoking the peace pipe a little bit too much during that period of time. What was that, dude? Kevin Knox, 9th overall. Remember that? Okay. I was in the house working the draft with Dennis Scott. Knicks fans were going crazy. They hated that pick. They were booing. They wanted Michael Porter Jr. All right. And Kevin Knox never worked out. The Knicks drafted Mike Sweetney, 9th overall. And all the San Antonio Spurs do is draft Hall of Famers, man. More importantly, you have the size of the 2 best players. Doc went into it. It's a 14-inch difference, okay, by listing. 6'2" is what the NBA has Brunson at. If it's 5'11", then it's 17 inches. And I know Brunson and Wemby are 2 different positions and all that, but like Doc said, Brunson likes coming downhill. Who's waiting for you? That guy. Okay, that's going to be something to watch. I would recommend that Brunson pull up at the free throw line, at the nail, maybe at that dotted line right inside the free throw line, hit him with high floaters, because, brah, you ain't going to do that like hide the ball, use the rim for protection. That ain't going to work against Wemby, dude. It's not. And like Doc said, I can't wait to see how Brunson adjusts his game. Brunson's probably the craftiest player that we have in the NBA, right? Just crafty, right? Durant's crafty and Booker's crafty, but are they as crafty as Brunson? No, because they don't have to be as crafty as Brunson. So I can't wait to watch that. And I want to go to Dwight Walton next on this. Dwight, is this a true David versus Goliath?
I want to make 2 points first. Luka Doncic is as crafty as Jalen Brunson, and my cousin Julian Champagne's Game 7 performance was better this past Saturday night than the 8 or 9 threes he made against the Knicks several months ago. That game is non-significant in comparison to what he did on Saturday night. Anyway, only in
You're mute.
Yeah, anyway. That's my first mute in like 2 months, by the way. They're doing they're blowing leaves outside, so I'm trying to like reduce noise and stuff like that. Doc, do you agree that Luka Doncic is more crafty than Jalen Brunson? I just want to sit on that.
I said just as crafty.
He said just as crafty.
Okay, I think Brunson's craftier.
Equal.
What says you?
I say they're tier one. I think Brunson does more pivots, so I disagree with cousin Dwight because the thing about Doncic is that he has size, and so he just needs a little shoulder, and he does a lot of the floater work. So Brunson is more crafty because he does like probably about 3 or 4 pivots sometimes just to get a floater or up and under or a float or a fadeaway. So to me, I think Brunson does more moves, and I've never seen Luka do that many moves. He'll probably pass it before he does a third pivot.
I'm keeping it to the crafty part. I don't care if Brunson's 5'11" and Luka is 6'7". In terms of craftiness, they're equal in terms of craft. Anyways, that's something else. But David versus
I would say Kyrie
Goliath,
Irving. Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving is the other guy, but that's it.
Kyrie Irving's footwork and elite skill set is what separates himself from, I think, everybody in the world. That's a whole other conversation. But anyway, it's David versus Goliath only in stature, because I think both of these teams are equal going into the NBA Finals. The separator is Victor Wembanyama. However, the Knicks have all the experience, and my concern for Jalen Brunson, we're only focusing on the offensive end. Jalen Brunson is going to be tested physically, mentally. His conditioning is going to be tested. Mitch Johnson, the head coach of the Spurs, I'm sure, is going to try and involve Jalen Brunson in as many screen roll actions as he can throughout this series. Jalen Brunson is 5'11". Well, you know what? We'll give him the benefit of the doubt, and we'll give him 6 feet tall. He's going to have to deal with Devin Vassell, Julian Champagnie, Steph Castle, to a certain degree, maybe De'Aaron Fox. But I think you're going to see a lot of Steph Castle guarding Karl Anthony Towns in this series for scheme purposes. Just keep your eye on that. So you're going to see Brunson try to be taken advantage of defensively. So again, in stature, yes, in terms of the best players, it's David versus Goliath. But the teams, I believe, are evenly matched. It's going to be a chess match throughout. The coaches are going to have to make adjustments after losses, even in their wins. They're not going to stay consistent. They're going to keep each other off balance. This is going to be a great series in terms of that. It's going to be the chess match, the substitution patterns, who guards whom. They may look unconventional at the start, but because of scheme, the switching, the helping, Victor Wembanyama being in drop coverage, all of those things are going to play themselves out in this series. So again, in terms of stature, yes, Jalen Brunson versus Wembanyama is David versus Goliath. But the teams are even, And the schemes, whichever scheme that these coaches put forth in this series is going to play itself out and eventually lead to a win. But Brunson, he's got his work cut out for him. He'll get his offensively, but he'll be put to the test on the defensive end. No question about it.
Katie Felber, is this a true David versus Goliath, these finals?
Well, I mean, now that you're saying that Jalen Brunson is 5'10", I'm like, okay, I think it is. Like, what is this? My Hinge profile? Like, what? Every guy I match with on Hinge says that they're 6'2", but they're actually 5'10". So if that's what he's doing to us, then yeah, this is definitely a David versus Goliath situation. Like, dude, just tell the truth. Tell us how tall you are without the hair and the shoes, please. Thank you. But that being said, I do agree with Dwight. I think it's going to be totally a David versus Goliath game and matchup in stature. You just have one of the least physically imposing superstars versus someone who is probably the most physically imposing. And Jalen Brunson has spent his entire career like proving people wrong. So, you know, maybe he'll get Wemby's head. Is that how the tale goes?
Yes,
I sure hope
does.
not.
That is the parable.
The parable.
It is.
Another
But by the way, is it just me or is Jalen Brunson shrinking as we continue our broadcast here? I mean, he's gone from 6'2" to 5'11" to 5'10". What's next, AM? Are you going to call
is
it
crazy.
I love it. AM, is this a David Goliath?
What?
Talk to me.
First of all, is 5'10" so bad?
It's not bad.
You know,
It's not bad.
guy who's lived his life
I don't
5'10".
know.
I just want to know.
But when you say it
just checking,
online, when you're listed as 6'2".
I may have put 7'5" on my Hinge profile.
Okay.
Look, it's fun. It's a fun like image to say this is David. So sure, if this sells tickets, if this gets people excited for the NBA Finals, because we're all such. I want like 80 million. I want as much people watching the Super Bowl times 3 to watch these NBA Finals. I want to talk about. So if that's what it takes, sure, it's David versus Goliath in this. But like, make no mistake. David was crafty because he blew out that slingshot, and Brunson is crafty, a little bit craftier than Luka, by the way, Dwight. He's definitely the craftiest guy in the game. That's just the reality of it, and he has to be at his size and as the third pick in the second round. Let's just give Brunson his due in that respect. But he's not meek, okay? David stepped up, and like that's part of the parable is like the meek guy out of the Israelites stepped up, and Wemby is no Philistine. Okay, so I don't want to take that away from him either. So I don't like love the absolute idea of it all, but again, it's fun to play with that. Now, is this a David versus Goliath and Knicks versus Spurs? Hell no. Okay, Vegas has it at -210, leaning towards the Spurs. They've got 4.5 for game one. Spurs at home, all of that, but a lot of action, plenty of action. All the action has been on the Knicks, and we all know who Dak and I are picking later in this show. Just wanted to say. So sure, for the fun of it, David versus Goliath. On paper, little man versus big man, it sells.
Correct your Hinge profile.
All right, AM, I'm gonna feed the hot hand here. AM, I'm gonna feed the hot hand as we transition. OKC just took an L. They're out. They're done. We'll see them next year. Was that Chet Holmgren's last game in OKC?
No. Again, I've learned my lesson ultimately in talking a little bit too much, and we've done this before, and I'm not doing it again. This whole, is this the last time? I would only say that at this point about Giannis. Like, I do believe he will be off that team sometime in the next couple of weeks and probably pre-draft, and it's going to be interesting, and we're all going to be excited as hell to see where it all happens. You know, it's like today's surprising news. Myles Garrett is now on the LA Rams. We're going to wake up one day and be like, Giannis is now, whatever, an Atlanta Hawk, which not going to happen. But just throwing that out there. This is not Chet Holmgren's last game. His extension kicks in next year for a long time. So anybody who's ultimately got to trade for him has to think about what that is. But yeah, I know why you're asking the question. You know, this is yet another stomach-churning example of the max player. And Holmgren, by the way, whose defensive rating all year was over 104, and through the playoffs, including in this Oklahoma City series, wasn't that bad. I mentioned it on the text thread. So, like, I don't want to lump so much on this guy. But from an offensive standpoint, it was despicable. That's just really the only way to describe it. And he shrunk from the moment in Game 7, wasn't taking shots, wasn't looking to get to the basket. It was ludicrous to think that a $240 million guy can't show up in any offensive capacity whatsoever. He did not have enough blocks. He did not have, he had, I think, games 4, 5, and 6, he was over 10 rebounds or around there for each of those games. Other than that, wasn't even close to sniffing 10 rebounds a game for, a third-team All-NBA guy who needs to be doing that from a defensive. But his defensive metrics, and again, his rating was actually pretty good. I mean, he's not a bad, I don't want to disparage him too much because he did what he was supposed to do and did help his team get to Game 7 in the defensive part of the spectrum. But offensively, it was a joke. It was a joke where he was and what he was supposed to be doing and helping this team. We can talk all about this. So, but still, Oklahoma's got to figure out how to bring him back and, get him stronger and implement him into their game moving forward. I believe it's Shea and Chet moving forward. I think that's your nucleus. I don't think he's going to be traded. There is this opportunity because the salaries can match up for Giannis. If it's not for Giannis, I wouldn't think that any other team wants him or that Oklahoma City's looking to get off of him. So no, I do not believe it was Chet's last game.
Literally agree with everything you just said.
Yeah.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
No, but actually, yeah, I was just going to say, like, in the press conference yesterday that I was watching, SGA was like, we need Chet. Like, we need him. So I don't know if he's going anywhere unless, there's just some crazy other trade going on behind the scenes, like some other triangular deal. I don't really know. But I did also see this meme in the U19 FIBA World Cup final. The USA beat France for gold with Chet Holmgren winning MVP. And I think that really just set off Wemby.
There's been a lot of that online.
He got his revenge. And no joke. I mean, Chet was, I don't even know where he was. Like, he was just in his head somewhere else. He was not, I think, a very bad game. But the $50 million a year contract, right? Like, I think he's staying with them for what? Over $50 million.
Woo! Over $50 million for no shots in the last 31 minutes of Game 7. That's tough. Can you look at Wemby move his feet, by the way? Can you guys show me that facial one more time of Wemby just literally putting Chet Holmgren under earth? I want to see this one more time. Thank you, fellas. This is Blake Griffin on Mozgov. Do you guys remember DeAndre Jordan on Brandon Knight? Do you guys remember when, dude, Brandon Knight was in a bunker 3 miles under earth after that dunk, okay? It was like, it was so ruthless. It was unbelievable. All right, Dr. X, you go next on this one, man. What's that Chet's final game in OKC?
Man, I think they're going to remember the Chet that won them a championship and helped out. It's easy to say after a bad Game 7, but I think they might have been more defeated than we thought with the lack of J-Dub being there as well as AJ Mitchell. But I'm still baffled that a player in the NBA, as lauded as he is, coming into the NBA, for him to only have 2 shots, and then the second, third, and fourth in a Game 7, and your second best player, or he might be your second best player, even if J-Dub is on the court, you only take 2 shots total. I'm still baffled by that. I just don't understand. So I'm starting to think there's some mental illness going on there. And he's probably going to have a spiral into a depression, or maybe he was already depressed. I just don't understand. Maybe Wemby snatched his soul when he dunked on him. And because, maybe mentally he was so embarrassed, he was probably thinking about his friends at home. Maybe he checked his phone at halftime and his boys were getting on him for getting dunked on. I don't know. But that's the mentality of a teenager to not even try hard, especially at that height, and knowing the gravity of the matchup that people were trying to hype up, and you having lived it. It's not, we know it, but he's lived it. So I just don't understand it. So based off of that, I just really think they would have grounds to get rid of him. Like AM, I don't want to come down too hard and to say off of one game. I think Presti is a little bit more measured than that, and probably will pull different strings that we'll start praising him for later. Maybe there's a bunch of draft picks, first round, second round. I think they have like 13 first-round picks. They may have upwards of, at least 5 plus. I think it's more than that, but second-round picks. And then you have a plethora of wing players and backup players that they could throw in, and maybe that's attractive to another team. I don't want to go down to say Giannis, but they might need to keep Chet and maybe just introduce him to a sports psychologist, someone like that, counseled Jordan, and it wasn't that he needed it; it was just to sharpen his mind and his edge even more. So that's what Chet needs right now. I don't think he needs to be traded. I think he's an asset. Like his body might fill out, and then we'll be like, oh man, if they had kept Chet, he had one bad game 7, but he already has a ring. So with that said, I think Sam Presti is going to see the bigger picture and be like, this guy already won me a ring. Without Chet, they don't win last year.
Chet needs a hug as well. And Chet is probably fighting any possible depression. Did you see him combing his beard? What is that, a Dick's Sporting Good ad or something like that? Like, so Chet's still in commercials. He's with Paulo and Peyton Pritchard. Sports, I don't know what the heck company it was, but shout him out. Anyway, Dwight Walton, was that Chet's final game in OKC?
Well, if anybody follows me on social media, I'm already on record saying that Sam Presti is on the clock and needs to possibly make a move. I didn't suggest Chet Holmgren, but I did say because of Victor Wembanyama, maybe his process may have to shift if they want to win a championship. On the flip side of that, if I do know Sam Presti and the motivation of the players, Sam Presti may just double down and go back into next season with a few tweaks on the roster and say, you know what? We're going to come back even stronger and try to beat the Goliath, if you will, of the NBA and get back to the finals through Wembanyama and the Spurs. My only concern is that, and this is to sort of piggyback off of what my cousin just said, my only concern is that Chet Holmgren is young enough to recover from this, or is it possible that he has a Nick Anderson type of reaction for the rest of his career? Could what happened in this, not only in Game 7, but in this series and the head-to-head matchup, quite frankly, between he and Victor Wembanyama, is this playing mind games with him? I hope it doesn't. If he needs a sports psychologist, whatever the case may be, you should never fool around when it comes to mental health. So, again, is he the issue? I don't know. Does Sam Presti and the Thunder have to make a roster move in order to strengthen the interior? Because Isaiah Hartenstein is also on the books in this CBA era to be moved as well. Can they retain him? Do they move some other salaries off of the books to bring some reinforcements in? I don't know how it's going to work for Sam Presti and the Thunder, but it can go either way. Either they make a strong move this offseason, or they double down and say, you know what? I want you guys to come back stronger than ever and try to go through Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs the same way Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and the Chicago Bulls went through the Detroit Pistons. Let's see what happens. And we have to understand, in between now and 2032, the Thunder have 16 first-round picks and 13 second-round picks. So they have a plethora of draft capital that they can maneuver to somehow strengthen that interior presence on the Thunder to go up against that Goliath that we call Victor Wembanyama.
This show is a blessing, and welcoming this dear friend of mine to our great show is a major blessing. His name is Caron Butler, assistant coach with the Miami Heat. And there he is. There's Coach Caron Butler, a.k.a. Tough Juice.
Oh, my God.
Tough
How you
Juice
been?
in the house.
I've been
How
good.
y'all
I've
doing?
been good, Coach. We're out here rooting for you, man. How's life, man? Everything good?
Everything's amazing. Got a lot of free time right now, obviously, with the early exit, but spending a lot of time with my family. I have a daughter she got that gene, man. She got that itch. She loved the game of basketball. So working with her, player development, and spending a lot of time with some of our draft picks or potential draft picks that's coming in and doing player development with those guys as well.
Oh, that's phenomenal. Caron and I go back and became friends on Game Time on NBA TV. And then there was a gig on TuneIn, which is a streaming service, and they really went for it. And they hired Rex Chapman and Caron Butler and some other big names, and we were doing it, right? And then I don't know. I think they might have. I don't know what happened there, but anyway, Caron and I would do a 5-hour shift from 7 p.m. till midnight. And Caron, we had like 3 90-second breaks or like 5 90-second breaks for the whole 5 hours. And so we were balling, covering the night in the NBA. Dude, that was a heck of a gig, man. I couldn't have done that without you, man.
Likewise. I had a great time driving up and just, picking your brain, getting that knowledge, and heading over to NBA TV after that. You really, made the phone call for me and told me that you had an opportunity for me over there at TuneIn, and it really just started opening my mind to the education side of basketball and plant seeds. And you helped me a lot with trimming my thoughts, being on the radio, and going into television. So I'm always grateful for that from you.
Thank you so much, Caron. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you, man. It is my pleasure to help you out, help out guys like Ryan Hollins, who we have on the show, and Ryan from back in the NBA TV days. Okay, so I want to champion you as a coach, all right? And we're going to go around the room, and I'll introduce everybody as well. So, Caron, where did you get that coaching itch? Like, because you're in broadcasting and all. So what made you want to be a coach? And then how did you get the Miami Heat assistant job?
So that's a great question. I'm glad you asked. It goes all the way back to our championship run back in 2011 with the Dallas Mavericks. And, me being the second leading scorer on that team and having a great deal of success until January 1st of 2011, that's when I had a patella rupture. And I went down with the injury, and I was trying to find ways because they said I'm out for 12 to 14 months, and possibly my entire career. But I was trying to find ways in our title run to continue to be impactful, to move the needle in the locker room. And I found out that, film sessions and messaging and all these different other tactical ways where I can move the needle in each individual in the locker room and still have an impact on winning. And, once we won the championship that year, obviously I felt just as part of it as anyone because I put a lot of time in it with my rehabilitation and everything, but also just my messaging in the locker room and, helping the guys, be the best possible version of themselves and talking to them in a manner and in a way that no one else could. So I saw myself as a coach right there from that standpoint. And that was something that I had in my back pocket, just saying, hey, man, when this thing is over, when this magic carpet ride of being in the association and being a player is over, I want to pivot to coaching. And then the television and the broadcasting thing happened immediately after my retirement. So I just never thought that I would get an opportunity to, fulfill that dream in the coaching. But my wife always said that she saw me as a coach. And, the late, great Kobe Bryant, he also told me that, bro, you on that sideline one day, I could see it. And, look what happened. Coach Spo, the Godfather, gave me a call in the lockout year or in the bubble season, I'm sorry. And they said that they had a position open. And it was only 2 organizations that I would have, pivoted out of the broadcasting space and go to. And that was San Antonio and obviously the Miami Heat where I'm at, because they just get it right. They do a great job of having disciples across the board. And, now I'm in basketball school. I've been over here with the Miami Heat for 6 seasons, getting educated, getting informed, and the proximity of knowledge that I have around me, from Chris Quinn to Malik Allen to Eric Glass, and obviously, a guy like Eric Spoelstra, can't tell the story of basketball without mentioning him with his success, one of the greatest coaches ever, and then the Godfather. So I'm just in basketball school now, getting prepared and, make that pivot.
Basketball school. Caron, please say hi to Eric Glass for me. I befriended him along the way too. Awesome guy. Freaking love Eric Glass. Just please say what up from his boy Cam. All right, let me introduce you to the crew. Upper right-hand corner here, it is Dr. Phil McDonald. He's a sports medicine radiologist. He's the founder, the creator, the patriarch of this great network. He is the insufferable Dr. X because he is, Caron, an enormous Knicks fan. I cannot stress enormous enough. And so we love Doc, and he's the man. Okay. Lower right here, we have Dwight Walton, Canadian basketball legend, played overseas for many, many years, part of the Canadian national team for a long time, played in the 1988 Olympics, and a terrific rebounder. Albeit a little undersized, right, Dwight? But he had those sticky hands, Caron. He got every rebound out there. And he played through every injury imaginable, okay? Like your boy Kobe. All right, we have Katie Felber in our beautiful LA studios, Caron. There is Katie. She's a podcast host, sports announcer. She booked Marshawn Lynch for us at 4 p.m., okay? So, let's go. What a show. I know, Caron Butler and Marshawn Lynch. You kidding me? What a show. It's extravaganza.
Make sure you talk about the season finale of Euphoria with him.
Yes.
Oh,
absolutely.
Good call.
Season 3.
Good call. Very good call. And then we have Am Pfeffer here. He's a businessman. He's an author. He's a sports analyst. Huge part of our show. And so this is the crew, man. We're beyond the surface on the X-Rated Sports Network. Now, the insufferable Dr. X. Chop it up with Caron Butler.
Hey, Caron Tough Juice Butler. Excuse the glasses, but I have to stay in character for my Knicks because, we're
I like the swag.
So this is my.
Do your thing.
I appreciate it. This is my alter ego, the insufferable Dr. X. But hey, what Rick forgot to tell you, as you said, I'm a physician, but I went to University of Connecticut School of Medicine. In Farmington, Connecticut. That's where our campus was. So that was around, I think we overlapped. I went from 2002 to 2006. So Ben Gordon, I think, was your sixth man at the time when you was killing it in UConn with Jim Calhoun back then. So a lot of respect for you. I enjoyed watching you through your career. I was actually going to ask you how it felt because it's kind of the psychology of when you win, like when Dallas won 2011, and then you weren't able to play. I was feeling bad because I'm a UConn fan. I was like, man, I wish Caron was there. It would definitely had no chance with that. But I'm glad you shed some light on your contribution, leading up to it. Then with the injury as well, which I'm sure we spoke about on NBA TV because I was their medical analyst. That's where I met Rick Kamla. I was breaking down the injuries back then since 2010. So forget that question. The question I do have for you now is there anything about this Knicks starting lineup that reminds you of the death lineup of the Golden State Warriors? And if not them, do they remind you do they have any semblance of greatness as that Detroit Pistons squad that beat Shaq and Kobe?
Hey, that's a great question. I would say not Golden State necessarily. I would say the Detroit team. When you look at a well-rounded team, you always look at a team having a guy, clutch player of the year. I think he won it multiple times, but definitely was top 3 multiple times. And Jalen Brunson. When you look at a guy at any stage of his career leading up to this point, can go out and give you 20 plus points and 10 plus rebounds a game in Cat, and now getting over the hump and finally just getting to this last stretch, he's more than capable of doing some amazing things and carrying a game or two in this series. So I just I would say they have more similarities of a Detroit team because defensively as well, they're so dominant at times. OG, Josh Hart, you look at one of their guards, the kid that came over from New Orleans, he does a great job of picking up, and Alvarado, he does a great job of picking up being a pest on the defensive end of the floor and getting deflections. You have a guy offensively that can just explode immediately at any given time, and Jordan Clarkson as well. So they have all the necessary pieces. And then Bridges, he's, always the glue guy for that ball club. People question how many picks and what it took to get him, but he's been a valuable, priceless piece, addition to that ball club that just keeps them going. And then Mitchell Robinson and those guys, they coexist very well together. So I do see a lot of similarities when you talk about the connection of that Detroit team, with Tayshaun, Chauncey, and all those guys.
Yeah. So wait, lastly, who do you have winning the finals?
I really think so. This is crazy. Like I love the parity of the finals. I think that it can easily go either way. Um, just being a team in the East, and I would hope that the East would win it. But I will say that I think Victor's timeline has moved up so rapidly that you was expecting him to be like this in another year or so, and now he has everybody like at the edge of their seats because he had the runway to do this, but now he just said, okay, I'm taking it. So with that being said, I feel like the momentum of it, once you conquer the biggest giant of coming out the West and beating OKC, I think the momentum is in the Spurs' favor right now.
The great Caron Butler hanging out with us on Beyond the Surface on the X-Rated Sports Network. Dwight Walton, you're up, man. Chop it up with Caron.
What's going on, Tough Juice? Welcome to the program, man. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Listen, we were obviously talking about Victor Wembanyama and the San Antonio Spurs in these finals. You have a player on your roster in Khalil Ware. Can you talk to where you might see any similarities, the potential, the growth in his game to where possibly he could be the Victor Wembanyama of the Eastern Conference going forward?
Yeah, we watch a lot of clips and strength and conditioning and base management with Victor, and then we also try to implement some of those things that we see from a visual standpoint with player development, with Khalil. I think we have one of the best big man coaches in all of basketball in Malik Allen. He does a remarkable job. He did a great job when I was still a player, and he joined the team in Detroit, and he was working with Andre Drummond. And, obviously his career just taken off during that time and all-star years and things like that. And the same thing now where we're doing it by committee with Khalil. So he's shooting the ball extremely well. He was one of the best big man three-point percentage wise this season. His activity when he get plus 24 minutes or whatever the case, like he's a walking double-double. And his confidence is through the roof. And now his synapses on the defensive end of the floor, when you put him in a film room, he's doing an excellent job at just seeing around the curve. And what I mean by that is like the play after the play, and he's being ahead of all the plays. So now his brain speed is at a whole nother level on the defensive end of the floor. Now, guys run and they're super active on the offensive end of the floor, but that's the area where we really draw the line in the sand on the defensive end of the floor. We want to get stops. We want to get kills on that end of the floor. We want to turn our defense into offense. And he's one of the anchors of that, him and Bam. So he's starting to get vocal as well, more vocal. And I just love his timeline of, developing. Like we talked about with Victor, he's a year or two ahead of the curve. The same thing with Khalil. We didn't see this coming so fast. And all of a sudden, Bam goes out for a 3-week period with an injury, and Khalil just kind of took off.
Dwight, do you have another one, or should we go to LA here?
No, you can. I mean, well, the thing is, the reason why I asked the question is because I brought it up in several group chats that I'm in, and people thought I was crazy. I wasn't trying to say that Khalil was as good as Victor Wembanyama, but I see the similarities. I see the traits. I see the potential. And teams now are going to be trying to adjust their rosters to try to compete with the San Antonio Spurs going forward. It's not just about the young teams talking about Oklahoma City and Detroit and New York and whomever else has championship aspirations. You guys have it in your organization already, and I just think the sky's the limit when it comes to Khalil, and he definitely has that potential. He may not be as tall, but he has the traits, he has the metrics, and I'm really intrigued to see how he fulfills that potential. Does he have the capacity? Does he have the want to become that great going forward, so you guys can get out of the East and compete against Wembanyama and the Spurs if that matchup ever comes to fruition?
Yeah, I 100% agree because I think it's one thing to have a vision for a player, and then for them to gradually try to execute that vision of their potential. But Khalil thinks extremely highly of himself, as he should, and he understands that he has no limits, no ceilings to his potential. Um, it's been games where he's outplayed Wemby in some of the matchups. Now we have to get him to continue to embrace, being dominant on the defensive end of the floor consistently, and playing aside another, all-star and all NBA guy in Bam, and how they complement each other. Because at the end of the day, the reason why we celebrate Wemby so much right now today is because he's winning. We all knew that he had the potential. We called him an alien and all these different things coming into the association. But at the end of the day, it comes down to winning, and you're not going to get celebrated on a national platform. Locally, of course, always. That's the thing, to move the player, to move the market. But you're not going to get celebrated on a national platform if you don't win, and that's what he's embracing and learning now.
I like what you said, Caron, about Wemby's just moved that whole timeline. Like everybody had him on their timeline. He goes, no, it's this timeline. It's my timeline. All right, let's go to our LA studios. Katie Felber chopping up with Caron.
Joining the show. I have a two-part question for you. So you've played with Kobe, Shaq, Dirk, D-Wade, Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook. Need I go on? Which teammate changed your understanding of winning the most? And is there a current player who you would trust most in Game 7, looking at this current series, Spurs versus Knicks?
Oh, wow. So the guy that changed my career or disposition to the whole game of basketball would have to be Kobe Bryant. I think that when I came and I was drafted to an organization like the Miami Heat, business approach, first time, every time, 1% better, best condition, and hardest working organization in the association. That I saw the messaging, I saw the writing on the wall, but I didn't see an individual that was doing it, day in, day out, because Alonzo Mourning had got hit with the kidney ailment and he was out. So he was our franchise player. So I had to learn from trial and error as a young guy. But all of a sudden I get traded from Miami, go to Los Angeles, and then all the teachings that I was being taught in real time, I saw it with Kobe Bryant. The early morning sessions, the blackout sessions, the arriving to cities early and going to the gym and spending, at least 2 hours in the gym. The blackout sessions is what he called them. Working on your skill set and working on game shots, doing player development way before it was an actual thing. And I saw it in real time, and I saw greatness in real time, and I was just like, damn, if I can just implement some of these tactical things, I can be something. I can be something elite. And when you talk about some of the finishers that's playing right now on both teams, I would have to say the ultimate closer right now in the game, clutch player, is Jalen Brunson. I think if you make it a possession ball game down the stretch in this series, the ball is going to be in Brunson's hand. I think this is a moment that he's really been wanting. I heard some messaging out there from some notable people that felt like, a guy like him couldn't lead them to the promised land. And I think he's taking it very personal. So I'm not going to put Jay-Z just did the picnic, the roots picnic and everything. So I'm gonna just shoot the subliminal. I heard somebody say it, so I'm gonna just leave it at that.
Yes.
I love that. Thank you. And I
It's not
have
easy
just one
being
more
green.
question,
It's
and
not
then
easy being
yeah.
green.
Of course.
Okay, so I have to
Yep.
ask. That was awesome, by the way. R.I.P. Kobe, Mamba mentality. Okay, I wanted to ask you where you think LeBron is going to go for his final year. Is he going to stay with the Lakers, Clippers, Warriors, or back to Cleveland, where I was born? But I'm actually a Laker fan, so please say Lakers, but tell me what you think.
Honestly, I'll be shocked if he left LA. I really would.
Agreed.
I just think that what he's done, when you tell the story of basketball historically, the Lakers organization value history so much. You saw him, break Kareem record, NBA all-time scoring record in that Lakers uniform. It's been, floated out there that he would like a statue or what would that look like? And I think that if you want to have those things, you got to end your career as a Laker. He's done a great job at transitioning. He's been doing that since the second he walked into the game. But he has a lot of business out there, and I just think that ultimately, living, lifestyle, everything, quality of life, all those things. I mean, I think he stays with the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
Facts, love that. He was golfing with
I
Zuri the
agree.
other day, I think, at the Palisades. So yeah, I don't think he's going anywhere. Thank you
Playing
so
with
much
his
for
son,
that.
I think,
Now I
it's a
can
great
exhale.
place. Yeah, 100%.
Insider info right
Cool.
there from Katie Felber. I like
Yeah.
it. All right,
It's just
AM
from,
Pepper,
it's just
come
from
on in here.
Instagram.
Caron, great to meet you. I got to say, now that you're here, and I was so excited to know you were coming on today. You are a hugely instrumental part of my basketball journey. And what I mean by that is, I grew up watching the NBA and really getting into it. We've spoken about this so many times on the show, but I went to Indiana University between 96 and 2000. And, I was somewhat of a college basketball fan, but I absolutely became, just a student of the game, a love for college basketball. And then you were right after that, right? 2001, 2002 in UConn, and you were just incredible. And you were one of the guys that I just followed and loved watching. And even in our 2002 run when we played Maryland, I believe in the Elite Eight, you guys lost Maryland, but you dropped 30 or 35 or something like that against Maryland. And you were just incredible. I was such a fan of yours and watching you get drafted by the Heat. And I bring this up to really segue into something that has kind of been bothering me a little bit this last couple of days in the media. I think there's a big miss going on as to understanding the true fervor of what the tri-state area really means and what this is to the Knicks right now. And I'm hoping you can help shed some light on this with the audience. Look, the tri-state area obviously being New York, New Jersey, and of course, Connecticut. You spent time in Miami having to play the Knicks, but the Knicks, the last time we played San Antonio in '99, and again, I grew up in New York and before all of this and grew up a Knicks fan as well, but 8th seed, shortened season, Cinderella run, very different than the field that it is right now. This, and you talked about the parity between San Antonio, and no disrespect to Texas or San Antonio, but can you really explain to the audience what is going on in the minds of New York and the Garden and the tri-state area, having spent so much time in the Big East like you did, having been drafted by the Miami Heat, the biggest rival of the Knicks that there is. Maybe you could really put some color on this for all of us, because it's bothering me in the media. I think there's a miss.
It's wild. It's a great question because we played the Knicks in the playoffs a couple years back, and it allowed us to go to the Eastern Conference Finals and eventually go to the finals and play the Denver Nuggets in their championship year. And I remember we was talking, pregame, and we was talking about orange and blue skies and just the type of energy that you would feel going into the Garden, the Mecca. And when we got there, it was just an energy that they've been craving for so many years. And you brought up Patrick Ewing in those years, the Jordan years, only running into the greatest player of all time and falling short. And then all of a sudden, going through that process of rebuilding and getting winning players in there and getting a guy that can lead you there. And then all of a sudden that momentum happens. And then halfway through this season, you win the midseason championship. And now that energy and that momentum is through the roof. And then you have guys healthy, you have guys fresh, and then you go through the first round run and you're playing great basketball. And now the excitement is building again because, Knicks fans always believe that they can come back from anything, they can win anything. But now you go through and execute that like to a T. Mike Brown shows great poise as a coach. He has a freshness in his messaging, and the guys are playing extremely well. Cat is playing extremely well. Josh Hart has a tweak. OG has some type of tweak, and you think, oh, here it go again, the bad news of, injuries and something happened, but what if this didn't happen? And all of a sudden these guys stay healthy, and then they go through the series versus the Atlanta Hawks. So they go through the series versus Philadelphia, and then all of a sudden they get, in a real nail biter series, and they still overcome and they still play exceptionally well. So now it's realistic for the first time since the 90s in my lifetime that they have a chance of winning a championship. And I'm just going to tell you, like, I've been getting phone calls from people that ain't even from New York, people that had an orange socks, blue anything. Like, they just calling me just like they're giving it to me. But I will say this, they've been so consistent, over the years of just building, staying steady, waiting to get their guy, Jalen Brunson, building around him, going out to get Cat, adding those winning guys that he played with from the University of Villanova. They've been strategic about that. They sacrificed some things. They mortgaged a little bit of the future with draft picks, but they believed in this team. And to see them on this stage is just, it's well-deserving. You tip your hat off to them and say respect.
I love it, man. I love it. So, Caron, I want to tap into your great career and also your TV acumen. Here's what I want to do. I found a killer Caron Butler top 5 highlight video, okay? And guys, wait to run it. Wait 1 second here. On these 10 plays, there are 5 facial dunks by Caron Butler. There's one on Kendrick Perkins. There's one on Kevin Garnett. How dare you put one down on my guy? Blake Griffin, you got Blake Griffin, you got Andrew Bogut, and you got Chris Kaman. And there were others, but those 5 are among the 10 highlights here. So as you run and I want you to VO this because there's game winners and stuff like that, and just give us your thoughts on the plays as they're happening. But then also just I want to know your favorite facial dunk. Like the one that was most satisfying, the one that made you, and even maybe to this day where you're like, yeah, that one was pretty dope right there. So guys, go ahead and run the video, and Caron, take it away.
Oh, you know what? So this is crazy. This is part of being part of a live city. Chris Paul told me, hey, look, advantage attacks. When you run it up the court, just look for the ball. I'm going to try to find you in the flow, get it to you. And once I get to the 2 feet, it's a wrap. And, Doc, that's after the patella rupture. And then yeah, you know what? That the baseline, I saw the low man defender, Kendrick Perkins. I was just like, man, he's not going to be able to get to the rim in time. He had to gather himself, and he was about 15 pounds overweight at the time. So I knew I can get off and just probably finish on him. And then Paul Pierce always was trying to send me baseline. KG usually come and give you a hard foul, but, I beat him to the punch on that one. And here are the Bucks, I think who was that? Zaza Pachulia, somebody?
I think Bogut. I think that was Bogut.
Bogut and Zaza, they didn't want to foul in the paint, so I knew I could finish at the rim. Now, right here, honestly, I wanted the one-on-one. Coach Eddie Jordan drew up the play, but I did not think that I wasn't going to be able to get that off. Ben Wallace got tangled up, I think, with Antoine Jamison on the baseline, and he wasn't able to get and meet me at the rim. Now here, I've been trying to dunk on Kaman for a long time. And, I was trying to get him and Yao Ming for a long time, so I finally was able to get those guys. I was waiting on that one.
That's amazing. That's amazing, man. Look at this one right here. So,
Yeah,
that's
trying
the
to
one I
get
came in.
Yeah, man. Every time I used to get to my 2 feet, he's just wrapped me up, but I finally got him. And then John Salmon, I don't know why he allowed me to split that.
Hey, they reach you teach, right?
Yeah, I had fresh legs because at the time, Sacramento was still a developing city, and they didn't have anything to do, so I had fresh legs.
What was Gilbert Arenas' reaction to that game winner against Cleveland to keep that series alive in Game 5?
Oh, he was jumping up and down on the sideline, man. He was extremely excited. I just told Coach Jordan to run the zipper play or some type of pin down and get me at the top of the key because I knew whoever they had, whether it was Wally Zerbiak or LeBron, I knew I can get the advantage, but I was just worrying about where Ben Wallace was going to be, at the rim.
Caron, I would like to go back into your coaching career, and the 2011 series has come up. The 2011 NBA Finals, Caron, and you know this, it's one of the most historic finals we've ever had. It was the first for the Heatles. It was Dirk's ring, okay? It was Jay Kidd's ring. And just your ring and a lot of history in that 2-week period of time right there. Miami's up 2-1, okay, looking good, and all of a sudden a shift happened, okay, and then Dallas went bang, 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 and won the series. And like you said, you were heavily involved with, helping guys out, making them the best versions of themselves, helping out with coaching, just however you could. Can you take us into, because we're not going to ask you about Miami Heat strategy. You can't tell us that, but this is 15 years ago. Can you tell us some of the adjustments and some of the X's and O's stuff that you implemented to beat the Heatles that year?
I think the biggest adjustment that was made was obviously Miami was being guarded man to man. This is at a time I think we're the Syracuse of the NBA right now because we run the most zone defense. But they was probably like the top 2 paint touch team and paint scoring team in the association, and really led by obviously LeBron and D Wade. They get advantage attacks, they get paint touches versus anyone, and they get finishes at the rim. So our priority was to make sure that we try to slow down LeBron. We knew that Dwayne was a problem, and it wasn't really an answer for him. He still could just do whatever he wanted at any given time because he was still just different at the time. All his fast twitch stuff was just working. He could split pick and rolls. He can get to the paint. He can make the plays and all that. But if we can, kind of disturb LeBron and get in the flow and get a rhythm and try to let that narrative hang over his head, maybe some type of doubt would creep in. And they knew that at the end of the day, all the pressure was on them. The big three, they had to make it work. They had to win. And, from a defensive standpoint, we had to find a way also to, preserve Dirk as much as possible on the defensive end of the floor. So, we thought it'd be great to, put the zone in, and that was Coach Casey. Casey did a great job at, hiding certain guys on defense and, preserving them and giving them all the energy in the world on the offensive end of the floor. And that led to Miami shooting a lot of shots outside of the paint, which they wasn't as efficient as they usually are with man-to-man defense. And that really was the turning point of the series. And then we also end up put, LeBron in a lot of situations because he was guarding Jason Terry. We put JJ in a ton of pick and rolls. I think his efficiency in the pick and roll was like 1.8 or close to almost 2 points per possession. So we was just like, you know what? We're going to put him in open side pick and rolls. If they blitz, it'll be tough because he's small, he's fast, he's twitchy, he's able to get outside of it, he can get the rejects. But that really was the game plan. And once we hit that, that game 3, we just felt like we had all the momentum and they couldn't stop us.
So that was the first time in NBA history that, remember, it was still the 2-3-2. It was the first time in NBA history. Correct? It was 2-3-2, right, Caron? It's a lot of history in my brain. That one was 2-3-2. Yeah. So That was the first time in history that a team went up 2-1. It was 1-1, and then the game 3 winner didn't win a best of 7 2-3-2. You guys were the first team to do that in the 2-3-2 format, which I thought was pretty darn cool. All right, I have one question, and then I want to get to Correa. One of our awesome audience members has a question for you. Take us into Bam's 83. Caron, what was that like? Take us into that. Like, what was it? I mean, he scored 83 points, Caron. Like, what was that like coaching that game and being around that scene?
So, a few things. It's crazy because, leading up to that point, Bam had an injury. He was nursing the injury, and he was coming back. And he was struggling to get his footing and his rhythm and his timing. As we all know, like, he's one of the best conditioned athletes in the association, and he's super prideful about his preparation and everything. And, I've been working with Bam, me and Malik Allen, for over 6 years. And, that morning he came in, he was fresh. Took him through a normal routine that I put him through, where we're making spot shots, and then we're doing ball in the air, feet in the air stuff. We're attacking a defender, a second defender, and he's just finishing like super smooth. And then all of a sudden we got news early that a couple of the guys was going to be out. I think Tyler Hero, Andrew Wiggins, and Jaime was all out that game. And I was just like, hey, man, we need a big game out of you. And then, in my own way, I started messaging some things that was, can't use on air right now, but I just started saying some things to him that try to get him activated and motivated. And he was super efficient. That was the one thing I would say. He was super efficient, and he was super determined. And we also actually watched film that morning too, and just looked at some of the spots where he can create advantages. And I also told him that, they're not a double team, so you're going to be one-on-one pretty much the whole night. So if you dominate your matchup, this could be a huge night. Now, I thought that he would come in and score, honestly, like 40 to 50 points. Like, I really felt that. I just felt like he was going to have that type of game because, one, it was the Wizards and the way that they was playing defensively from a scheme standpoint. I felt like he can get what he wanted to get out the situation. But to say I thought he would score 83, I was just like, wow. And once it started happening in the flow of the game, and he saw the first couple go in, he started hitting his threes. I was just like, man, keep him in, let him ride. And Kobe's my brother, the 81, and I'm just like, man, respectfully, he got to break this record. He has to break this record. And I want to go back to something because I'm glad this conversation is being had. When I was a teammate of Kobe, one of the things that he would do is he knew every milestone night in the association. Michael Jordan had 62 this night. This person had this. Whatever the number was, he knew every milestone before going into every game. And he challenged himself to break records. He was chasing ghosts. He wasn't chasing the players in the association. He felt like he was better than everybody, and he was. So he was chasing ghosts. And that night, it was a chance for our franchise player to chase something, and he did it. He accomplished something special, something they can never take from him. And he's up there with some elite scorers of all time. And I was just extremely happy for him because we struggled last season, with his injury and with guys in and out the lineup, and for him just to have something like that that they're going to talk about forever. I thought that was special.
And so is that response right there, Coach Caron Butler. All right, put up the question from Correa Gage, please, and let's get Kai and Jason to throw that up if you guys don't mind. Here it is. Hi, Correa. She says, question for Caron, if I may. Biggest lesson from basketball you've learned as a player and a coach? That is an outstanding question.
Yeah, great question. I would have to say, as a player, emotional intelligence. Just make sure that your emotions don't get the best of you. Even facial expressions. Like it's crazy. I'm one that used to react to just about everything from a facial standpoint, but now it's just like having the poised face, having the poised demeanor, and you know, I think also too just understanding everyone's why. I think that's one of the biggest lessons that I learned as a player in the locker room and as a coach. Um, it's important to be able to move the needle with each individual that you're around in the proximity of you. So just understand everybody's why, because everybody why isn't the same. Ultimately, everybody want to win games, and everybody you assume want to win a championship at some point. But everybody have different whys, so just making sure that you tap into that.
Okay, so I've never heard about emotional intelligence. That was phenomenal. And knowing every no, I mean I'm serious. And then knowing everyone's why. That's so heady.
Yeah,
It's unbelievable. Correa. Shout out Correa, man. What a question.
Yes, yes.
I love that. All right, so we're running a little short on time with Caron. I got a funny bit at the end of the interview. We got time for probably two more. Anybody else want to jump in here real quick? Dwight, go ahead.
I've got one.
I have a question. Oh, Dwight, go ahead.
No, Karan, we know all about your basketball exploits as a player and as a coach. I want to ask you somewhat of a personal question. I think your life is the epitome of perseverance. And in preparation for this interview, I watched your interview on the OG podcast with Udonis Haslam and Mike Miller. And you have a quote that is very profound, and I think I think it deserves to be heard again. I know it's life changing for you. You have a quote where you say, "If I can sell dope, I can sell hope." And to me, that's a very profound quote. I think it's inspirational for people out there to hear your story, your background, your perseverance in your life to get through what you did growing up in Racine, Wisconsin, and to now where you are today. Could you talk about that for us, please, and for the viewing audience out there?
yeah. I'm damn. You did a great job of doing your research on that one. I shot that straight from the hip, like literally. Me and UD always talk. He was my rookie along with Dwayne Wade when I was here as a player. And one of the things that I used to always do is just like talk to them about my circumstances and what I experienced growing up. You know, being from Racine, Wisconsin, being arrested over 13 times, doing 2 years in corrections, and getting out, and some of the things that I learned along the way. Um, One of the things I used to always talk about, and I still do with our players, particularly before training camp, we always have these meetings and strategic planning about training camp. And we introduce guys to the culture and we talk about ourselves and where we from and where we come from and where, know, hopefully we're headed. And I'll talk about that quote particularly. If I can, sell dope, I can sell hope. That was the hardest thing in the world to do, to sell something that is hurtful and that people won't gain anything from, but despair and heartache, and it'll cause a lot of strain on just about everything. But the empathy of love and hope and helping someone accomplish their dreams and seeing people be a better version of themselves and teaching them life skills and through sports. um, if I can do the most terrible thing in my life as a teenager, and now I have this platform and this access, that I'm so grateful for, to be in these locker rooms with these young men that welcome you with open arms, your knowledge, your story, knowing that you come from a real place, know that you have transparency because you sat in those seats in those lockers. Um, why wouldn't I maximize that? And I take that to heart because I know when messaging came in the locker room and I had particular coaches and things like that, they didn't register to me because they didn't take the time to really connect with me. They had a way that they wanted to do things, and that was it. But I try to be a little more tactical in the way that I coach our players. I try to, meet them where they at, or meet them in between, and just try to really move the needle. And that's been my thing. And I'm grateful for the opportunity and the access to these guys. And I don't just coach the guys in our locker room. I coach the guys across the board in the association. I can't tell you how many times that, guys in other locker rooms or how many other people that I mentor across the association that just called just to, hear something encouraging. I don't want their players. I just want to see them be, the best version of themselves. And I think that's really, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about.
Well, Caron, I want to say I've got nothing but respect for you and your journey. I think the message is clear. To see there's hope for all of us, and you may go through some trials and tribulations throughout your life, but there is ultimately a light at the end of the tunnel, and you epitomize that. And I have nothing but respect. Congratulations to you on your life, coming through all of that, and much love and respect for your journey going forward, because you still have a lot to do. You have a lot more people, not only in sports, but around the world to impact. So thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
I love that. All right, Katie, last question. Then I got a little going away bit here for Caron.
Silly and short. I'm just curious if you think Chet Holmgren needs to do transcendental meditation, or what can actually help him recover from Sunday's loss and help his mental side of the game, because I think there's something else going on there. I have a podcast, Sad Jocks, about sports and mental health. I played lacrosse at Cal, and I personally, actually, just to be serious, used to and still do struggle with depression and anxiety. And as an athlete, as a D1 athlete, that gets to you. And as the pressure climbs in a situation like that on Sunday night that we saw, it's like, what do you think he needs to do to go the distance and get a handle on that kind of mental side of the game?
Well, I think the best thing, that's a great question. I think the best thing that we've seen is failure. I think you learn from your truth, you learn from your reality. Now, how are you going to execute a plan tactically to do something about it? They have one of the best general managers in all of basketball. Sam Presti, he does a great job. I was under his guidance. I played with Oklahoma one season. They do a great job of player development and all those things there. But in order for you to do anything of significance, it's gonna cost you something. You're gonna have to go through something. So seeing him on this platform, seeing him on this stage, go through what he went through, all of them as collectives. Czech didn't just lose, the Oklahoma City Thunder team lost. So everyone has to be better for each other, and I'm pretty sure they are. They're a well-connected group. They're winners. They competed at a high level. But, this thing about basketball, it's all about momentum. It's all about timing. It's all about confidence, as you touched on. It's all about connectivity. And just right now, you had a generational talent that's about a year or two ahead of his timeline that said, I'm not waiting, I'm taking it. And it was his time.
Kind of like me earlier today, Caron, when I went to the fridge
and pulled out,
sponsored by Mountain Dew,
and I pulled out a Diet Mountain Dew. And look at Dwight's a huge Mountain Dew guy too.
I got one too, Caron.
If there ever was one.
Yeah.
Listen, Diet don't hit the same though. Diet don't hit the same, Rick.
Caron, I got to be honest with you. I had dad bod. Okay? I did. I wasn't proud of it. And I cut out sugar. That's why I drink Diet. Dude, I lost 40 pounds, man. 40 pounds.
You look good.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it, man. I went from 225 to 185. My playing weight was 175. So I'm feeling all right about that. Okay. And I'm telling you right now, this is one of my little tricks, man.
Yo, Caron, as everybody on this panel knows, my guilty pleasure is Mountain Dew. Every color on the book, blue, red, pineapple, whatever the case may be. Like right now, this one is called Supernova. It's something.
What is that? I don't even know what that is.
It's purple.
Put the label up there. Purple. What is that?
It's something new. but it tastes
looks
great.
delicious.
Something to do, all right.
Karan, you're right. It does
Look at
not
Doc
hit
leaning
the same.
in. Doc's like, Doc's trying to read the ingredients on this. He was leaning into his phone there. He just wanted to see what the top 3 ingredients were on the bottle.
Karan, you're so right. It was a tough.
It is my guilty pleasure, man. It's bad. It's bad. I love me some Mountain Dew. I'll tell you that.
Same
What
way,
about
bro.
Diet Coke? I feel like
Diet
Diet
Coke?
Coke's better. Anyway. That's my go-to. Refreshing.
Okay. All right.
Is this the game?
So Karan, do the do. All right, do the do. Keep doing you. Karan, man, seriously, I love you, brother. I really do. I'm so happy for your success, all the great times we had together. And thank you so much for gracing us with your presence, being a completely awesome human being. And we're out here rooting for you, man, and we'd love to have you back down the line at some point.
Anytime, brother. I love you, man. And good luck to your Knicks, brother.
Let's go. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
Appreciate it, Karan.
Baby,
Thank you.
UConn. Let's go, UConn.
Salute.
Doc, that was a nice shout out at the end right there. Kind of giving you a little, let's go next. A little side bump right there.
A little hope.
Woo.
Feeling hope for me. I like it.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Yo, Rick, what's funny is I have a photo. I meant to bring this up, but I didn't want to break the flow of all the great questions everybody had. But I actually have a photo where I'm rocking a Caron Butler jersey. I taught for a year in New York right after 9/11. And I was traveling to Manhattan. I was teaching at my alma mater biology, earth science, and Bible for 1 year. I got accepted to University of Connecticut with full ride scholarship tuition. And that was 2001. And then 2002, I copped the Caron Butler jersey because I was going to UConn on a full ride to medical school. And so I have a photo. Dwight knows, had the headband on and all of that.
Yeah.
It was a Caron Butler jersey. Yeah. I'll send it later.
Dude, that's amazing. Hey, Dwight, cheers real quick. Cheers on the Mountain Dew.
Yes.
Just,
Absolutely.
cheers, man.
Yes.
Cheers.
Yeah. There you go. Yes.
When I was at Duke, on my little 10-minute breaks in my fellowship, I would get they had the blue one because it was Duke, so they had whatever that blue flavor was called. That was my little upper.
Yo, I've got blue in the fridge. I can go get it right now.
Yeah.
I've got blue in the fridge.
But Dwight, I'll say this: that has nothing on 5 Hour Energy. And next thing you know, I'm in Toronto. Next thing you know, I'm back in Montreal.
You know what?
It had Dwight.
Guilty
Dwight
as
skipping timelines like Wemby.
Listen, quick story, fellas and lady. I never believed in 5 Hour Energy until about 6 months ago. That has changed. Now I'm looking forward to taking those long trips. Before, I save my quote unquote addiction for 5 Hour Energy for road trips. I don't drink it all the time, but I will say whether it's placebo or if it actually works, for me, it works. It really, really works.
Yeah.
It perks you up.
Yep.
I'm an energy drink guy, and so I've messed around with 5 Hour Energy. It's definitely not a placebo. There is definitely something cooking in there. All right, there is definitely something cooking in there.
There's no crash. That's what I love about it.
There's no crash either. Yes.
Yeah.
No, they got a good product for sure. They definitely have a good product. And so do we. All right, beyond the surface on the X-Rated Sports Network, Caron Butler. Wow, was that cool? Guess what? The hits keep on coming. Marshawn Lynch, Super Bowl champion, beast mode, will be joining us in like 5 minutes, okay? I owe you guys an answer on Chet. I'll make it quick. I don't believe Chet Holmgren's going to be on another team next year. I don't think he's played his last game in OKC. I've got more on this in my rant, okay? Because obviously the Giannis connection, OKC and Milwaukee and all that kind of stuff. I actually think the Heat have a better reported package of Tyler Hero, Khalil Ware, Jaime Jaquez, and 3 first-round picks. I would rather have that than like Chet, Dort, Isaiah Joe, and 3 picks, or like whatever that works out to be. And then like the Chet Evan Mobley thing, I looked into that a little bit. It's possible, but it doesn't look likely because Kobe Altman sort of like reconfirmed his feelings about Evan Mobley at the postseason press conference and said he was the most consistent Cavs player throughout the playoffs. Doesn't sound like Evan's going anywhere. And I wouldn't trade Evan Mobley for Chet Holmgren or Giannis Antetokounmpo. And that's why Kobe Altman is one of the best in the biz. I want to try to fit this one in if we can before Marshawn. And Dwight, this one has you written all over it. I do want to go first, and then I'm going to you next. Would OKC have beaten San Antonio with J-Dub and AJ? Okay, I say no. If J-Dub and AJ are playing, then we would have gotten less from Caruso and McCain. The Spurs are a better team. I picked them to win going into the series, and they proved it. Guys, this number is absolutely extraordinary. The Thunder were 39-10 without Jalen Williams in the regular season. Let's add 8-0 on top of that for the playoffs. 8-0. Okay, they were 47-11 without Jalen Williams. That's unbelievable. By the way, they were 14-11 without AJ Mitchell. Oh, there may be a debate within the debate. To me, the West Finals was about Wemby's talent and will being greater than SGA's talent and will. And the Spurs got great games from like Champagnie and Vassell and all these other guys. So, Dwight, go next. Would the Thunder have won with J-Dub and AJ?
So, first of all, before I answer the question, I want to say quickly to all the OKC fans out there complaining about AJ Mitchell and Jalen Williams not playing, your team benefited from Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr. in the Western Conference Finals, and then in the finals from a torn Achilles in Game 7 for Tyrese Halliburton. So injuries happen. They're a part of the game. So it is what it is. It's professional sports. You deal with the cards that you're dealt, and you got to play through it. That being said, if you saw the theme throughout the entire Western Conference Finals, the Spurs always got off to quick starts. And if you notice in the second half of Game 7, I think it was too late, Mark Daniel went away from his starting 5 to put a better offensive lineup out there to combat what the Spurs were doing throughout the series. So, to answer your question, do I think the Thunder would have won the series? It's tough to say. It would have, I'll tell you what, having Jalen Williams and AJ Mitchell would have given them more offensive punch, and I believe it would have helped Oklahoma City get off to better starts. When you can focus your defense and you can blitz Shea Gilgeous-Alexander as soon as he crosses half court, and it forces the others to make decisions, which they all could, it still disrupts the flow of their offense. I think that's what contributed to the Thunder getting off to those slow offensive starts to pretty much every game in the 7-game series. So, again, I still believe the Spurs would have eventually won, but it would have been a lot tougher than it was. I give the Thunder a ton of credit. These games were close, and they were without arguably their second and third best offensive players throughout the season, which is why it wouldn't surprise me if Sam Presti shuts the noise, shuts the door, and doubles down on bringing the exact same roster and fully believes that this current roster can still get through Victor Wembanyama and the San Antonio Spurs.
Dr. X, how about you? Would the Thunder have won with a healthy J-Dub and AJ?
I think so. I hate these questions because it kind of takes away from what the Spurs accomplished. Ultimately, they earned it because for Chet to only take 2 shots, he was on the floor and he knew the task at hand. He understood the assignment, which technically he didn't understand enough to have the right answers, as Shea likes to likes to bring up that he has the answers to all the questions. He's waiting for the questions, but they had it. They could have won it. So let me start by saying the Spurs won it, and they probably still would have won it with J-Dub. But it's a game of inches, Rick. It's a game 7. There were blowouts on both sides. It's a game 7, and the thing about J-Dub and AJ is they are scorers, but J-Dub is also a defender. So now
Good
that
point.
makes it harder for San Antonio. And then the thing about Jared McCain is very efficient. He comes in the spot, so he would still do what he's gonna do. So I know you like to say that, I don't think that he would have been a good fit. Like if J Dub started scoring more, that means that Jared McCain's impact would have been less. I don't think so. I think Jared McCain is able to put up points in bunches. He's like a Jason Terry, and so he would have done the same thing and probably would have been more potent because they are more distracted because they were kind of keying in on Jared McCain after a while. They wouldn't be able to do that with AJ Mitchell and J Dub on the floor. It would have been a whole another chess match. So I think the fact that with those guys out, it still went to game 7. I would have to still give the edge to the defending champions that they would have won. But I don't like to dwell on that because ultimately in a game 7, all bets are off. You're at home. The others are supposed to play better. And Chet is nowhere near other. He's an all-star. So for him to be mentally taken out of the game where he has no impact offensively, which is what they needed because they get off the slow starts, says it all that I have to attribute that to the defensive prowess of Victor Wembanyama in the San Antonio Spurs.
Oh, Chet was an other in game 7. He was
No, he was.
otherworldly bad. He was otherworldly bad, is what he was. But you're right. He is not an other. All right. AM Pfeffer, you next on this one, man. Would the Thunder have won with J-Dub and AJ?
Yeah, like Doc says, it's impossible to definitively put a stamp on that, but I'm going with yes. I really am. I think ultimately with those two guys who were so instrumental and so important to the offensive flow of who the Thunder were and what they were doing in the postseason, yeah. I mean, AJ Mitchell especially, you look at what he was in the Lakers series, he was over 20 points a game. He was nearly 7 rebounds a game. He had 2.3 steals a game and 1 turnover a game in that series. And he was shooting something like 56 or 57% from the field in that game. So like massive loss all around for the flow of what they're doing. And now they're relying a lot on Jared McCain. Now they're relying on Caruso, who, by the way, was abysmal himself in game 7. I want to call it like it was. Like the dude just kept shooting and shooting and shooting. And it's like one thing in a regular season game, hey, do that so you get your shot back and it doesn't matter as much. But this is game 7 of the Western Conference Finals. And Shea was doing his thing and running the offense and was like halftime at like 19-5-4. And all of a sudden Caruso just like can't stop. I mean, I'm not sure what was going on with him. So yeah, there was a lot of blame to go around all of this. But to go back to just answer your question, like, yeah, they missed Jalen Williams. And you're talking about a top 20 guy in the NBA when he's at his best. But whether he was there or wasn't there, and we know what it was through the year, like AJ Mitchell became a dude on that team, became like a starter on that team when necessary, and he just wasn't there. That hurt badly. OKC still took it to 7 without San Antonio, and I think OKC ultimately had more depth and was the better team if you had health comparatively across the board. Even if you consider that Dylan Harper would have been 100% healthy or De'Aaron Fox would have been 100% healthy, yeah, I think it was that big of a loss for both of those guys. I am going to end with saying taking nothing from San Antonio, not saying they did anything wrong or they weren't just as good, or like, again, because Dwight emphatically in all caps on our text chain kept mentioning Dylan Harper and like, Dwight, you are so right. Oh my God. Oh, watching Dylan Harper was special. So congratulations to the Spurs. I want to take nothing away from them.
Dylan Harper, man. Dylan Harper. What a player. All right, Katie Felber, you are up here. Would the Thunder have won, in your opinion? And we have a wardrobe change. Mid-show. For Marshawn, I see you. I see you.
Put on my Cal hoodie that I bought, like I said, 20 years ago in prep for Marshawn, you guys. By the way, he's coming. His assistant's getting him ready. He's currently in New York, just running around doing things. So,
Okay.
yeah, we're stalling
Tell him
just
to
a
come
little
through.
bit. I know.
He said, "Tell him to
Mhm.
come
Literally.
through." I love it. So, Katie, do you think the Thunder would have won with a healthy J-Dub and AJ? We've had a lot of differing opinions on this.
Yeah, I took some notes on this. It's hard to say definitively since Wemby was really on point, but I do think it's fair to say the series would have looked a lot different if they were healthy. I think it was a calf strain and a hamstring strain. Yeah, I think like the margin between winning and losing in a conference finals is so thin anyways. And OKC was missing these two very critical pieces. So I think that those injuries forced them to rely on role players, and everything pretty much was forced to start and end with SGA. So it was a lot of pressure put on him. It's easy to say in retrospect, but I kind of do agree that, yeah, it would have looked a lot differently if they were both healthy at the time. So, yeah, I mean, hot take, J-Dub, isn't this the second hamstring injury 2 years in a row, I want to say? I think they should put some effort into prepping that and making sure it doesn't happen. I think so. That's what I read. This is his second year dealing with this.
I think he had the right earlier in the year and then the left now. I'm not entirely. I don't think he had a hammy last year, but I could be wrong about that.
It was the wrist.
But right. But Katie,
Yes.
It's a great thought. And Doc, I want to ask you about. Go ahead, Katie, if you had a thought.
Oh, I was just going to say Marshawn is 10 minutes out, y'all, so we can
Okay,
get excited.
dope. Okay, cool. We are excited.
That's my thoughts.
All right, so Dr. X, I have a theory that, J-Dub was late coming into the year. I'm sure his offseason workout regimen was thrown way off by the wrist surgery, right? And you play all the way to late June, and then you have surgery, and I think it kind of jacked him up that way. And then you come into the season, and it's injury after injury after injury after injury. And I'm not banging on him at all. My theory is that he wasn't able to get in like tip-top NBA, let's freaking go shape, and kept breaking down. What's your read on that?
Yeah, I think it's also the way he plays. It's like a track meet for him when he is the open floor. He's so fast, and I think the way he plays, he runs at a high top speed, almost like a Westbrook, De'Aaron Fox when he has the ball, and then he's like 6'8" on top of that, and that was one of their weapons. Like he gets a lot of buckets that way. I think that's what led to it. Ultimately, he probably plays that way in practice. He plays that way during the game, and he just, that's the way he plays. And so now, as you said, Rick, without a training camp, trying to ramp up in short spots, you're traveling during the winter. You're dealing with this wrist injury as well. There's also a mental component, and it might even be his biomechanics and how he runs. He kind of runs. He's slightly hunched. I don't know if you noticed, but
Yes.
OG has a similar issue too. OG is a weird character in terms of he's explosive, but then he's not. Like OG will get all the way to the rim, and he'll be so low to the ground. If his knees get past a certain point, he'll dunk on you. If he doesn't, it's almost like he's like a sixth grader trying to do a layup over a 10th grader. You'll see it. It's kind of weird how OG his explosiveness with his hamstrings, but I'm not sure if this is the biomechanics on how OG runs versus how J Dub runs. But I think it is, a ramp up issue. That kind of what probably did our Knicks in too. I was looking at some of the history. Patrick Ewing in the 1999 finals in the play because of a partial Achilles rupture. But you remember that was the lockout season. And, you're going through training camp in the middle of winter. I think they started in December. And I'm not sure
in
if
January,
that's
and they played 50
yeah,
and they played 50 games. 50 games.
50 games, yeah. And I'm sure they had back-to-backs. You have an older Patrick Ewing.
Oh, yeah.
And that's probably what did him in for the finals as well. So these shortened seasons, whether it's for collective bargaining reasons or if it's due to an injury and you just skip training camp and you don't have the proper ramp up, I think has a lot to do with it. Also with the style of play. So yeah, you're right with your hunch, Rick.
Dr. X, I want to, because we have Marshawn coming up. The great Marshawn Lynch is coming up right around the corner. I want to start on this process. We've been teasing it for a couple of hours. Let's start it. We may not be able to finish it before Marshawn, but it's finals prediction time. Dr. X, who wins? I think we already know your answer, but how many games?
Well, I originally made this post at the beginning of the playoffs, before the playoffs even started, and I said New York Knicks versus the world. And I said my prediction is that the Knicks will be playing the San Antonio Spurs in the finals and that they would win in 6 games. You can look at my post. The caption is not edited. It's all there. And I said they'd win in 6. I think that was my safe bet because out of respect for the opposing team, out of respect for the pressure in the finals and people making adjustments, you can't really go off regular season success all the way. You can learn from it. You could prepare by using that, and then you got to adjust in game as well as season to season. Game to game. But I would say now seeing everything and seeing the Spurs deficits with their very turnover prone. De'Aaron Fox, who's supposed to be the veteran that's supposed to have the poise and settle them down. He's sometimes a no-show. He had a good game 7 last time. There's other players that I just don't think compared to the Knicks, the way the Knicks have been playing. And I think it'll probably take a couple quarters for the Knicks to adjust. But once they do adjust, I don't think the Spurs are capable of adjusting to the Knicks based off the fact that they are turnover prone and also their youth. Also, Wemby, I know he's the other generation. I don't think he's the best player in the world. I think he's the best defensive player in the world. But offensively, he does a lot of great things because of his height, dunking and all that stuff. But we've seen him be mitigated and also run out of steam against bigs and just in a series. So I think he won't be as good as we think he's going to be. I don't, in terms of his averages. I've seen Wemby not show up sometimes. I'm like, dang, what happened to Wemby? I've seen Wemby not get 10 rebounds. I've seen Wemby get 4 rebounds, 6 rebounds, 7 rebounds, and people just gloss over it. And he's out there for 40 minutes. So all in all, I think it's going to be the Knicks in 5. That's my new prediction.
See, Doc, we all love you and we respect you and you're a great sports analyst. You have proven people wrong all year long, thinking, oh, here he goes again. And then boom, exactly what you said happened. Hello, the Detroit Pistons. Doc had his flag in that mountaintop before everybody. Okay. So Doc has Knicks in 5. Gutsy. It's a gutsy prediction, and I like it. It's a New Yorker prediction. Dwight Walton.
Mm-hmm.
Hi.
Who
you got? How many games?
Well, you and I, Rick, have been on the San Antonio Spurs bandwagon pretty much since January and February. And
we've been driving the bus twice.
Yeah. And, all this narrative about you have to lose before you win. And there was just something about Wembanyama and the Spurs being different. You've also heard me talk about that the Knicks have a comfortability when they play against the San Antonio Spurs. And we could talk about how the Knicks beat the Spurs in the NBA Emirates Cup, how I was there live in person along with my cousin and his lovely wife Shalea at the Garden in early March, where I saw up close and personal the Knicks continue that comfortability against the San Antonio Spurs. However, I believe both teams are completely different since March. I believe that the regular season is different than the postseason, particularly when it comes to the NBA Finals. For the first time in these playoffs, the Knicks are starting on the road as opposed to at home, which is why, with all due respect to my cousin, if you firmly believe that the Spurs are only going to win one game in this series, I respectfully disagree. I think everything is pointing in the Spurs' direction. I also think the Knicks are a team of destiny, but I've also seen the Spurs win a game 7 on the road in a hostile environment in what I consider to be the second most difficult building in the NBA in Oklahoma City. This series is going to go at least 6 games, and I believe that the Spurs will either win it in game 6 on the road or in game 7 at home. The Spurs have checked all the boxes. They've gone through all of the gauntlets. They've checked everything. And winning a game 7 on the road in Oklahoma City, I don't care who was healthy for the Thunder, that in and of itself just shows perseverance, growth, and moxie, quite frankly. So it's either going to be the Spurs in 6 at the Garden or the Spurs in 7 at home.
Okay.
Hey, Rick, can I battle Dwight just for a second?
Yes,
What
and
makes you
can we
think
also
that the
go ahead,
yeah,
Doc.
go ahead. What makes you think that the Spurs checked all the boxes? They played the freaking Trailblazers in their first matchup.
Okay.
Then on top of that, they played an injured, mitigated Timberwolves team, and then lost
Okay.
game 1, by the way, with the injured Anthony Edwards, who came off the bench and played minimal minutes. And then they beat OKC Thunder, not in 4 games, not in 5 games, not in 6 games, 7 games. So what boxes have they checked? They haven't seen
Okay.
a real matchup, truth be told, outside of OKC, who probably would have beat them and would have sent Wemby home crying for different reasons.
Okay, so let me ask you this. So listen. This is gonna go totally against how I already feel about the NBA and the Eastern Conference. But if you want to go down that road, I'll give you the barbershop talk. The Knicks beat the Hawks, Sixers, and Cavs. Is that any different?
It is. The Hawks were the hottest team in the
How?
second half of the year, based off the record. They were the hottest
How?
team I just told you. Stop saying how
What were
if I
they
just told
20?
you.
They were like 20-6 to end the year, or something like that, some record like
Yeah,
that.
they were the hottest team in basketball the second half of the
Right.
year. So if you guys want to talk about momentum, there you go for the momentum. And that's why you had some people coming out their mouth, some NBA players like Lou Williams and whatever that dude's name is on that FanDuel podcast show, saying that the Knicks would lose. A lot of people were saying the Knicks would lose, and they won. So
Yeah.
then the next and not the way, it's how they're winning. It's not, so we're not going to game 7s with people.
Oh, I
Like,
agree
for
with
instance,
that.
Cavs went to game 7 with the Toronto Raptors, Boston, game 7 with Philly, and then people have the nerve to then pick those teams over us, and then we just demolish them. And it's how we're doing it. So if you look at the way we're playing, this is the death lineup. And this is the last thing I'll say, Rick. This is like Mike Brown coached the death lineup. Am I correct? When Steve Kerr was out with some
He
back
was an
pain?
assistant coach. He was an assistant coach
Yes.
for it.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, but he was literally at the helm because Kerr could not be on the sideline because of his very painful back issue, and so he
Good
coached
point.
the death lineup, and so and he coached them to win a championship. So you have Josh Hart is Draymond Green. We already know that Jalen Brunson is very efficient and shoots the threes as well. He is the Steph Curry. Then you have Mikal Bridges, who defends in his wing, is having a very efficient playoffs, not series,
Mhm.
playoffs at 70%. He is Klay Thompson. So these are the better versions. And Andre Iguodala is OG Anunoby. So OG is the one that's actually athletic, can defend anybody, including the center, dunking, and he's a better shooter. He's a better version of Andre Iguodala. He's the highest hitting 3-pointer from the baseline. He's doing everything Iggy does, but better. And then you have the only person that's not necessarily better, but does his job is Cat is like KD, but he's the most efficient big man, most efficient shooting big man, as per his words in history, but he's also the hub. So he's playing with that system, with the motion. So Mike Brown is making real game time adjustments within game. and the Knicks are here for it, and their bench is there. You got Mitchell Robinson, who was like the Kevon Looney type. And so all that said, the Knicks are the death lineup. They are the new death lineup. They're only going to get better next year when they add more depth to their bench. So San Antonio hasn't been battle tested, in my opinion, and you're about to see them
What?
get embarrassed. And
And then
you're
oh, so hold on,
also
so hold on,
about to
hold on.
we're
I,
about to
oh
give
wait, wait,
Wemby.
wait,
I'm
wait.
gonna keep on repeating it.
The Knicks, the
Wembyama
Knicks,
will have a
the
reason
Knicks
to
haven't.
cry after
The
this series.
Knicks, because the Knicks haven't faced a defense like the Spurs since March. Let's just call it
They
as it
face the
is.
Spurs.
They
They faced
haven't.
the Spurs.
Yes,
That's good enough.
since
And
March.
we
Since
dismantled them
March.
because you know why? And I'll actually give you specific reasons. Castle doesn't know how to get out of his way. You think Carlton Towns going to get in foul trouble? Castle's going to get in
Yes.
foul trouble. He cannot guard
Okay.
Carlton Towns. They tried that already. So he's going to probably try
They
to guard
held
someone else.
the
And God forbid is
the
Brunson. He
Spurs.
will be
The
in foul
Spurs have
trouble
held.
before we
Phil,
know
I
it.
got it. The Spurs held SGA to his most inefficient series in his career. Brunson, we're gonna find out
There,
how good he is.
there
We're also gonna
others
find
aren't
out
efficient. You can't do
defensively.
that with us.
Phil,
Because
I get it. You're a Knicks
Carlton
fan.
Towns is not
Phil,
Chet.
I get it.
Carlton Towns.
Phil, I
No,
get it. You're a Knicks
you can't
fan.
just put a button like that. Carlton
Phil,
I
Towns
got
is
one thing.
not
I
Chet.
get it. You're a Knicks fan. Phil, I get it. The
Yeah.
Knicks
Hey,
aren't the Knicks aren't
I do have
41
one thing to say.
better than the Spurs. They're just
can
not. They're
can I
not.
can I call
They're
can
not.
I go
Oh,
D'Antoni and
timeout.
just call it. I just want to call a 20-second timeout real quick.
Okay.
I missed the 20-second timeout. Touch your shoulders. Katie, go ahead. Doc and Dwight, hold your thought. We're going to get back
Guys.
to that. But Katie, go ahead.
Well, we have Marshawn waiting in the wings. We should get him in here soon. But I do want to say that there is a corgi dog who has predicted the Western Conference Finals. And I actually have a direct line to him. And he has said that it's going to be the Knicks in 7, you guys. So get ready because that dog. I'm actually making up that last part. He didn't say Knicks in 7. But I personally am able to communicate with animals in the astral plane. So I do think that this corgi is going to say that it's going to be Knicks either in 6 or 7. So circle back to me and maybe we get the corgi back on here. But yeah, it just pains me to see you guys fighting. So I'm going to leave it in the hands of a dog.
Oh, we're not fighting. Hold on, but hold on, Katie.
Not
We're
Noodles.
Katie,
A dog not named Noodles.
Katie, we're not.
Okay.
We're not fighting. We're not
Really?
fighting.
Okay.
No, I get it. Listen. My cousin, he believes he should be on the Knicks staff. Let's get that out of the way. That's first.
Anyways, I love that. Rick.
Dwight got put on mute.
Oh, someone got muted. Okay.
Dwight got muted.
I think it's time that we get beast mode in here. What do we think? Yeah?
Yeah, let's do
We're
it.
good to go? Okay. You guys, this next guest really needs no introduction. You know, he's a Super Bowl champion, a
There he
5-time Pro
is.
Bowler, a comedian, an actor, and my former classmate at Cal, class of 2006. You guys, Marshawn, Oakland's own Beast Mode. Give it up. Welcome to the X-Rated fam. There he is.
What's going on? What's going on?
Oh, yes,
How are
sir.
you?
Marshawn Lynch. Beast Mode,
What's happening?
this is an absolute thrill to have you on, man. Let me give you some introductions. Obviously, Katie's your homie from back in the day. I'm Rick Kamla, longtime media career. I was on NBA TV for 17 years in like the 2000s and 2010s. Upper right-hand corner, one of the top sports medicine radiologists in America, Dr. Phil McDonald. He's a philanthropist. He's an entrepreneur. He's a world traveler. He's the founder of this great show. Lower right-hand corner is another guy who is in beast mode, Marshawn. Dwight Walton, big-time rebounder, long-time professional basketball player overseas, played in the 1988 Seoul Olympics. In our LA studios next to Katie Felber, we have A.M. Pfeffer, anchor, author, businessman, NFL aficionado, and a hell of a sports analyst. So, Marshawn, we are beyond the surface, and it means a lot to us to have you here, man. How you doing? How you living?
I'm taking it easy, man. Slow motion, man. One day at a time.
I like that. So, Marshawn, I wanna dive into some Super Bowl memories with you, and then we're gonna go around the room and around the horn and all that kind of stuff. What are your favorite moments from your Super Bowl victory? And I gotta know, 43-8 over Denver that year. And how dope was the party after winning that Super Bowl, Marshawn?
To be honest with you, I don't remember that shit, dog. I don't remember that shit.
Same.
Okay,
That
so
shit
you don't
easy.
remember
That's
after the
cool.
game. How about during the game? What do you remember from during
Oh,
the
okay,
game,
yeah.
Marshawn?
During the game, man. During the game, man, it was. That game was very interesting from the from the first play of the game. But what it did was it allowed Malcolm Butler. Why I say Butler? Malcolm Smith. It amounts. It allows Smitty to do his.
And 3, 2, 1. Oh no! Story time with Marshawn, and we get an interruption due to technical difficulties. Oh man!
He probably got a phone call. He probably got to let him know he
And
has to
it
be on the
knocked him
internet,
off.
and he probably has to put airplane mode and be in the internet. Because if you get someone calls you, you'll be knocked off. Yeah, if he's on his phone.
It'll happen.
You guys, we've got a lot of cool stuff planned for Marshawn, so we'll get him back on. We got to ask him about some of his most famous plays. And I've got a what would you call it? A doozy for him after he completes this answer right here. Doc, I can tell you, I want your dude. Marshawn in fantasy football, he helped pay the bills, bro. There he is. Marshawn's back.
Yay.
Thank God. Hey, Marshawn, we were just singing your praises for helping us in fantasy football. But please continue the story about your favorite memories from that Super Bowl victory.
Oh no, I was just saying though, man. What it did was it gave Malcolm Smith an opportunity to go off and you talking about fantasy and shit. I know nobody's saying that one of our linebackers was gonna probably end up being the Super Bowl MVP. But being able to see all the work that little nigga put in and how hard he he fought for his opportunities and seeing him come alive in the Super Bowl, that was probably one of the coolest things. I mean, that and Percy kickoff return.
I love that. It's selfless stuff. You're not even talking about yourself. Now, Marshawn,
I ain't do shit.
Well, you scored the first touchdown of the game, but a huge game from Marshawn was not required in that one. All right. If the Seahawks, Marshawn, would have called a running play for Marshawn Lynch as opposed to the pass that was intercepted by, you mentioned him, I won't say his name again, bad memories for you.
Malcolm Butler.
What happens in Super Bowl 49 if you get the rock at the goal
line? Shit, we probably stay together as a team, and knowing the mindsets of them dudes, they probably still playing in Seattle right now.
So it would have changed a lot. I mean, Tom Brady would have one less ring too. But so what you're telling me, Marshawn, is you would have pounded that baby into that end zone for the win.
No, I'm just saying, man. It gave us a high chance of being successful. I just put it like that. I don't know. Maybe I do get in, maybe I don't. But shit, at the end of the day, I won't say I'm satisfied with how everything turned out, but I mean, it really didn't stop no motion in who I was as an individual. So, yeah, I mean, that shit don't really bother.
Last one for me before we go to Dr. X here. Did it take you a while to get over that? Not just the loss, but the fact that you were a badass on that drive to get them to the doorstep, and then they went away from you. Did it take you a while to get over that, or did you kind of just shrug that off in that moment?
I mean, it stings, but yeah, I mean, the way I look at things and the way that the way I prepared and the way I seen us as a team, I mean, there's been situations where, we get down there and, you feel me, I don't get it in. And I mean, you know, it's situations where we down there and, you know, we go with another player and score. So, yeah, I mean, I the way I look at it, I'm not the only nigga on that team. You feel me though? And then I
Yeah.
mean, the last thing that we probably would imagine on that, besides a pass breakup or you know what I mean, an incomplete pass, is that uh, we get another opportunity. So, but then again, you know, I had a lot of time to look at this and, you know, dissect it in many different ways. So, yeah, I mean, at that moment, ain't no telling what the fuck was going on. But shit, now that a nigga 40, and you feel me though, I done lived through it and passed it and shit. With all the time that done been gone by, we done, you know what I mean, Seahawks done won another Super Bowl. So shit, I'm riding high on that one.
Marshawn, thank you for answering those questions, man, because it's such a tremendous sequence in NFL history. Thank you for that, my friend. Dr. X, come on in here with Marshawn Lynch.
Mr. Marshawn Beast Mode Lynch, my guy.
Was
I know you
was
are a
good, big
four-sport
dog. I see
athlete.
you draped right
Good,
now.
man. Yeah, you know. So usually I wouldn't have these glasses on, but this is my alter ego for the playoffs. So like I'm an insufferable
Okay,
Dr. X.
okay.
I'm a insufferable Knicks fans. But you know, once that finals is over, this will all be draped and all be off. But
Only
anyway,
motherfucker
I
I
was doing
seen
some
dressed
research.
like that would have been Spike.
True.
Exactly. Yeah, Spike be dripped out, man. He'd be all in orange and blue all day. But yeah, man, I saw you're a four-sport athlete. You're from Oakland. Were you a Warriors fan? And what's your basketball IQ or your basketball knowledge? Like, I want to ask you some basketball questions.
Man, you know all football players got throwback hoop dreams, but man, in high school I played basketball, won a state championship, but you know what I mean, we had players on my team like Leon Poe, Quentin Thomas, uh, two guys that, you know what I mean, at the same time went off to, well, Leon went to Cal with us, and then Q went to North Carolina. So, I mean, I put my time in.
I like it. I like it. So based off of that, um, the Warriors death lineup. That was with KD, Draymond Green, Andre Iguodala, Klay Thompson, and Steph Curry.
Yeah,
Does anything about
I
this
heard
Knicks
you,
team remind you of that dead
man.
lineup?
Get the
Yeah.
fuck off the block. Get the fuck off the block. I heard you. I heard you popping that shit before I came in. I think I might have been in the waiting room, and you was trying to you know, you was trying to align your shit right, but nah, man,
Of course.
let them niggas try to figure out what they got going on before you start comparing them to them individuals, because them niggas was doing some shit, man. I don't but then again, I don't know, man, but I don't know if it's right to be comparing them niggas to them boys though. And you said
That's
who
there.
you said running around like Draymond?
Josh Hart.
And I don't know
But
if
he
Josh
actually
Hart
scores
Mm-hmm.
running.
more. He
And
hits more
I don't know if he
threes.
run.
He hits his
See,
layups.
yeah, I don't know if you could do all that, because Draymond type of nigga, Draymond gonna say fuck the game, nigga. I beat your ass right now. I don't know if dog got that kind of time.
I got you. All right, so who do you have? Who do you have with Knicks versus Spurs and how many games?
Man, I'm gonna keep it solid with you. You said Knicks for sure, but I'm gonna keep it solid with you. Wemby like 8 feet tall, blood. I can't bet against dog. I can't bet against him. Not right now. And he doing this
He's
shit.
sad.
But I mean, look, I'm gonna tell you like this. I don't, you know, they be putting all type of shit on the internet, and they put up, they got a little script somewhere. That nigga like 8 feet. Boy, that I'm telling you, kid, you can't. How you gonna bet against dog, bro?
Yeah,
You
I
feel
feel
me?
you,
And he one of them.
but
And he
beast
one of them
mode. Think about
shining
it.
monks too.
I know, but I think about it. You had like offensive lines, defensive lines that you had to get through. He wasn't intimidated by no height and no size. So you don't
Yeah, but
see
see,
any
it's
of that.
different.
Like,
Our
mhm.
game is a physical game, so you know what I mean? And I'm a physical individual though. So that's different for me. You feel me? And like I said, you know, you can't put my type of mentality on these guys like
Yeah.
that. But
Facts.
that nigga, bro, and it ain't no
But
disrespect to
see,
nobody else, but dog 8 feet tall. I understand you a Knicks fan, diehard Knicks fan too. So you feel me?
Yeah,
It's a
facts.
little different for you the way you feel. But dog is 8 feet tall, so it ain't like, you know what I mean? Woo, shit. And I just seen
Yeah.
something recently where Draymond was trying to pump fear in him type shit, then shit it on him with the left. And Draymond, my son, and I know Draymond gonna go at, you feel me? He gonna go at you, and it ain't like he gonna go at you like, just like on some like basketball shit. Draymond really gonna try
Yep.
to, you feel me? Gonna try to get with you. And
Yep.
dog, I don't even think he's seen Draymond up under him though. So
Yeah, that
I
was
mean,
funny.
when
I was
that
happy
when
for
that when
Wemby in
that
that
when
moment.
that when that switch clicked for him, because I think he more so like just trying to get the peace and the woosah type of shit going on. And I mean, he's still young too, so you feel me? When that
Uh,
it clicked or whatever that is for him, that's like that switch. Ooh, it's gonna be ugly. And I
oh
mean, I
man,
think he
you got
just in
me
the
amped,
process of that happening right now. I mean, but they said,
and my
they
cousin
said on
got
the
me amped.
script
I'm
though.
amped.
Hey man, they
You know?
said on the script though that the Knicks gonna win. So I mean,
No.
I don't know,
Actually, you're
man.
right. Vegas. No, Vegas is choosing the Spurs too. They're a heavy
You
underdog.
said Vegas is choosing the Spurs.
It's choosing the Spurs. Yep. So
Well,
no
I'm
one's really
saying
choosing the
What's
Knicks.
For that NBA script that they got, they said the Knicks was gonna win.
What
Okay.
script are you referring to, Marshawn? What?
And it just be them scripts, man.
He has
I
insider
don't know
knowledge.
how to I don't know how them
NFL
scripts
got
work,
scripts
man.
too.
I'm not really into the scripts and shit, but I did see the script that said the Knicks. You
Someone
know what I
gave him a
mean? What
script,
was
you guys. One of his agents gave him a script.
Mr. Hollywood is not into the
man?
scripts. Does the NFL have a script? I want to
Man,
know.
Oh,
Now that we're talking
shit, I
about
Yeah,
it.
they
mean,
probably do.
shit. I thought
I
that's
rest
what
my
y'all was
wow.
gonna
case.
figure out. I thought I might just throw it out there, you know what I mean, since y'all do this show and shit, then be like, oh yeah, our script said the same thing,
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
So I didn't know. I was just
True.
fishing and shit, trying to see what was what.
Respect.
Yeah.
I
Same,
love it.
honestly.
Caught a big
Respect.
fish with that one.
Thank you, my brother.
Um,
Appreciate you.
And but the New York fit though, bro, you doing your shit, man.
Thank you,
I
my
like the way
brother.
you
Thank you.
represent, my boy.
hell yeah.
I appreciate it, bro.
I love it.
I
Well,
love
All
I
it.
have
good.
a
I love it. Go
question.
ahead, Katie.
I got two questions. One's about Euphoria, but my first question is actually about the WNBA. Inside Knowledge told me you pulled up to the Golden State Valkyries game. If you could invest in one WNBA team, who would you invest in right now and why?
You said who would I invest in?
Who would you invest in? What
I
WNBA
mean,
team are you putting your money behind?
see, the thing is, I didn't pull up to the game. I pulled up to the practice before the game.
Oh, the
What I do
practice.
know is yeah, I know they got top of the line facilities over there, and I know they put together a pretty good team with them girls. And I mean, anything going on in the Bay, um,
True.
you feel me though, especially that's representing the town because they still practice over there. You feel me though? I would for sure like to get into, but just off pure, just like um, and I've been to some Aces games, and that environment was pretty nice in that motherfucker. And then I mean,
Okay.
Mark Davis, and Tom Brady. Like if you feel me, I could find a way to wiggle in there like that. Then maybe I could find a way into the Raiders too. So I
Smart
mean,
choice.
shit,
Nice.
yeah, how it
Okay.
work
Do you have a favorite player in the WNBA? Don't say Caitlin
in
Clark.
the
Do you have a favorite
WNBA?
player in the WNBA?
You said don't say K. Who the hell
Oh,
is
you heard
over there in
that?
the
My bad.
background? Who else y'all got in the background? Oh shit. A favorite player. Well, I met me and Satu is represented by the same agency, And yeah, I mean, I think she doing her shit on the court, but also off the court. Just her whole little get up and how she, do her shit.
Nice. I love it. And last thoughts before I head to AM. Thoughts on the finale of season 3 of Euphoria? Did you see that happening? What's your reaction?
I mean,
Or do you know what
to be
happened?
honest with you, I didn't. Yeah, I mean, with shit, it's with that type of shit. It's
Zendaya's
always
character.
a surprise.
It's a
But I
spoiler
mean,
alert, but
when I
yeah.
no, it ain't. It came out yesterday, but yeah, I
Okay,
mean,
yeah.
seeing
People should check it out.
yeah, seeing Z-Day go out, and what was crazy because she went out like in the middle of the episode, so it's like, God damn, we still got hella episode left. Like how they gonna work this thing? But then you feel me, towards the end, like all I could think was like when Dave Chappelle did that skit and he was like acting like Samuel L. Jackson. He was yelling like, "You ever seen Deep Blue Sea? A fucking shark ate me." And all I could think about was like, did you see Euphoria season 3? Motherfucking Ali
True.
shot me. He shot me in my dick. And I'm like, what the fuck? But that's how I think I would play that off, because
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, for real, I get my whole shit blowed off. Like, what the fuck kind of, you know what I mean? Like, damn.
Yo,
Some
speaking of
cold business
hoes,
out there, man.
I got a quick transition. I forgot that Rick wanted me to ask this one question. Speaking
There
of
it
hoes,
go.
what do you think about that little scandal that happened with Mike Vrabel and what's her name? Diana Rossini. Did you hear about this? They were caught canoodling on camera in a restaurant somewhere. Do you know about this?
Oh, man. Don't ask me about who fucking who or none. Cause I don't care who fucking who or none of that. Like, shit.
That's a good answer.
Hell
Honestly,
nah,
that's a good answer.
That ain't, you feel me? I got a lane, and who you fucking ain't got nothing to do with nothing I got going on.
I love that. Your lawyers will be happy. I'll text Brian after. Yeah, I mean, when they had the whole Coldplay thing that happened too, it was kind of just like too much. We know too much. Anyways, I'm gonna kick it over to AM.
Oh my God, I don't know. I'm gonna follow any of that. Actually, you know what? I do have a big question for you, Marshawn. By the way, great to meet you. Thanks for coming on. You actually have one of my all-time favorite quotes for younger athletes. Like you're pretty well known for this. If anybody understands what it is to talk to younger athletes, I'm going to paraphrase here, obviously, that you say, hey, take care of your body, take care of your money, take care of your mind. And, maybe you can elaborate on that a little bit, or just how that's evolved maybe the last 3, 4, 5 years. Like, so much is moving so fast, so quickly in sports, and these younger generations, they feel like they're already 10 years older by the time they're coming to the league. You look at Steph Castle or Dylan Harper, these guys
shit,
are
they is 10 years older by the time they come into the league.
Yeah,
man.
Right. It's a different world. So maybe you could talk a little bit about evolving a little bit, or what the advice is now.
Hell no, they need to come and talk to me and give me some advice. Cause shit, you got to think the athletes that's in the league right now. You got to remember they came up in the look at me on social media type shit. So they've always been in front of a camera. They've always had an audience of individuals watching them. And you know what I mean, through the progress and the process of all of this shit. And I mean, if you been watching a lot of these guys, if we just talk about let's use Shador for an example. You've been able to watch this dude through high school, the whole shit, and then I mean, with his pops, and then having a show while he in college and all kind of shit. So it's really almost like they bigger, nigga. They get a lot more attention than a lot of individuals that's already in the league. It'd be a lot of shit that I would like to speak to, but I just can't because I have never experienced that shit. You feel what I'm saying? And then especially at that age. But where I come from and what I speak to is more so I would say the profession of what's going on. When I'm saying take care of your body, because when you young, and you outside, you don't feel like that shit can ever happen to you. And then what happened is you just, you know what I mean, you think like, oh, okay, yeah, I could get away with, you know what I mean, not putting in this extra work, whether it's, stretching or, going to get that massage or, you feel me though, going to go put in that extra little time in the weight room or conditioning for that matter, but just to take care of your body, nigga. And then when I talk about taking care of your mental, we done seen so many individuals done come to that point and they lose that battle. And then it's not more so like taking care of your mental, like you got to be strong through all of this shit. Like, nah, if it's that, you got to go and find somebody to talk to, you know what I mean, to get an understanding of how you feeling or what's going on, like not being afraid to go and do that type of shit. However that is to get your mind right. Like I like to think about it in ways where I'll tell individuals, like if it's something that you genuinely enjoy, like do the shit out of that, like abuse that, because then that'll take your mind off of when you not feeling right, you know what I mean, to not want to go, you know what I mean, down that wrong path of, you know what I mean, putting yourself in a fucked up and a harmful position. And then I mean, if you around some shit that's not satisfying you and your purpose, like you got to be willing to cut ties with that shit and move on to something that, you know what I mean, may not be your ideal way of rocking, but you know what I mean, but to give yourself give yourself some grace, and you feel me though, get into that. So, you know what I mean? And then, take care of your chicken is self-explanatory. Like, you know what I mean? You gotta take care of your bread. And then I mean y'all in a position of where you getting a lot of it. Then utilize that shit in a way to, you know what I mean, to take care of those two things that we talked about previously, like taking care of your mind and your body. Because and then the biggest thing that I think a lot of people skipped over in that situation was because we not lasting long. Like I think that was probably the most important thing of what I said in that little sequence in that conversation that I had. Because nigga, I don't like to see us dying hella young or going out for no I don't want to say for no reason, but going out for I'm gonna say stupid reasons. Like nigga, I enjoy seeing black motherfuckers get off doing they shit, whether it's in acting, sports, business, you know what I mean? No matter what it is, I love seeing niggas getting off and showing, like, you feel me though? Like, regardless to however you look at us, like, we saucy as fuck. Like, I really am hella proud to, I'm talking about, to wear this motherfucking skin like this. And I like to see other motherfuckers doing it too. But the way we've been going out, we ain't even giving ourselves a chance. So, yeah, I mean, you talking about some in-depth type shit. That's where it would go to.
Yeah, I love it.
I love it.
Amazing. Appreciate
Absolutely
that.
fascinating.
You went to. I had a quick follow up. You went to high school with Ryan Coogler, yeah? Or no, not high school with him. You played against him in Oakland on
Yeah.
some football teams. Do you just fun question? Who would you want to play you in a biopic? And beyond that, who's your biggest comedic influence? And then I'm done.
Who
Biggest
would I
comedic
want to
influence and
play on biggest comedic? Man, I'm old school. It'd probably be like Bernie Mac, Chris Tucker, Dave Chappelle. Uh,
nice. Maybe Ryan Coogler
what's her
can do
name?
a
Simone.
Marshawn biopic.
Yeah, I
Simone.
mean, shit. Nah, dog be busy, man. But we
Yeah,
did play. We played against each other in Pop Warner High School and college.
I love it. Eddie
Wow.
Murphy at all?
Man, for
Eddie
sure.
Murphy.
Yeah, but I don't know if
I love
I
it.
had to grow up a little bit to get Eddie to play something. But
Yeah.
hell yeah, Eddie for
Yeah, he
sure.
does.
I actually did a movie with Eddie.
Oh yeah, we were talking
We were
about
talking
that
about that, the pickup.
on
Actually,
Amazon
good friend of mine
Prime.
Yeah,
was
the
a producer
pickup.
on that movie.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, is that all right? Well,
Well,
yeah, there you go. That was a dream
well,
come
yeah.
true.
I love it. I
Good for
mean,
you,
people
man.
ask me who my favorite comedians are, and Marshawn, you're definitely up there as one of my favorite comics. So keep
I
doing what you're doing.
I don't think I'm a comedian though, mama. I'm just a nigga who be sliding it. You feel me? Dipping in and I dip out. You feel me? I wouldn't call it no
Okay, okay.
comedian though.
I don't know. I think you have good comedic timing, but that's just me.
You know what? I
Anyways,
appreciate it.
Rick.
I'll take that.
Yeah,
he,
take it.
he, he got the slow-mo comedic timing, man. He's got it down. He's got it down. Dwight Walton, come on in here, man.
Big dog, what's going on, Chief?
Oh man, what's happening? Listen, talking. We all know about your professional sport, your sports accolades, and your exploits. Talk about your transition to the business world, your philanthropy, your entrepreneurship, your foundation, Fam First Found Family Foundation, and your Beast Mode apparel. Talk about that because I think it's important for young athletes to understand that this sports thing is not going to last all that long. You need to have a fallback plan, a plan B, if you will. Talk about that transition to how you've parlayed all of that to what you're doing right now.
Well, to be honest with you, like the foundation that we started would probably be my first taste of business and what getting that started was like. And now this year we're going on 20 years and celebrating our 20th year anniversary. Me, my cousin Josh Johnson, and my
Mm-hmm.
cousin Marcus Peters. Like we've been rocking, but one thing that you feel me though, like when we set out to do this, like um, it was never to create business. Um, it was never to get no bread. It was all about being able to be cemented in our community. Um,
Amen.
and no matter where we went, we always wanted to make sure that we built the foundation where home was and have that be like our nucleus of what it is that we were doing. And what that ended up doing for us was that took us, you feel me, I say around the world, because I mean we done camps in El Salvador, shit, Mexico, uh, Turkey, Egypt. Like this shit done took us literally like around the world. So I mean, the impact was to look. That's my little cousin right there too on that picture you just put up. But our impact, went from our backyard to around the world, and it kind of showed us like, um, no matter how much work we put in, the work will never be done. So it give us a purpose, and we kind of try to follow that. And then, like you were saying
Well,
with the beast
listen.
mode of pearl.
Yeah,
So
because
what?
Okay,
again,
nah.
I think no, what you're doing again, and I'm really appreciative of the fact you're trying to impact the community. That's very important. That's how it should be. You should use your status, your celebrity, if you will, to give back and have an impact on kids who can see another side of it. We just had Caron Butler on earlier, and he talked about how he used his life skills to impact the community, and I commend you for doing the same. And I think as long as we can have role models like yourself and others, particularly in the Black community, I think it speaks volumes. And I'm all with it, my man. Listen, you continue to do what you do and have that impact to where you believe you can have your strongest impact.
Hell yeah, man. I appreciate that, big dog.
Yes, sir.
I
Right on,
appreciate that.
guys. I love it. Marshawn, I have two plays that I want, two famous plays from your career that I want the guys to play. We're going to go one by one. This first one is your ankle breaker on Ray Lewis. And how much of you being a hooper helped you do that?
None.
Damn.
Oh, there you
None.
go.
Woo!
But
None.
but AI, but AI
AI.
is AI, Penny Hardaway. them two of my favorite hoopers. So I mean, yeah, I mean, but I don't know if now I look at it, it might got some little step back potential in that motherfucker. But it was a
All right.
but it was a lot of motherfucking power generated in that in that step. So I don't know, man.
So you've got like a split second to make that decision, right? You got Ray Lewis, you got 52 right in front of you. I think he's got the most tackles in NFL history. If not, he's in like the top 3. So you can't count. You just got to catch it, see it, and react, right? There's no like advanced calculation going on there, right?
No, you don't even know that he behind you at that time. At the
Right.
time, you don't know. You don't actually. Well, for me, I'm gonna say, I don't know who it actually is until you either look up at the jumbotron and you see it, or you get
All
back and
right.
film. Cause I mean, you know that shit. It ain't like you get the like. I don't get to size them up. It's more like a reaction. It's more like an instinct type thing. Like if I gotta go and the move I believe is okay, I just gotta run through your ass. I don't get the opportunity to say, "Oh, this is a cornerback, a safety, or a linebacker." It's like, nah. Once I put myself in that position, it's just time to react right now. And it just so happened if it's a motherfucking D lineman on the other side of me, then I gotta hit that nigga just like I hit anybody else. And I mean, you know, in majority of my battles, I would say I came out on the other end. All right.
That is
Yeah.
absolutely true. There's no doubt. And then I got one more for you. It's the Beast Quake. And I believe you broke 9 tackles on this run. Guys, run the Beast
Sheesh.
Quake.
This is awesome. I wanted to ask about this. This is awesome.
4, 5,
Dude, give
This
me
is
a
awesome.
break. What is happening here? Look at this.
I wanted to ask
What
about
the
this.
hell, dude?
This is awesome. Yeah.
7.
And then
Nice.
the backward splash into the pool, man. Take us through this,
That was
Marshawn.
fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Damn. Do you see how long ago that is? I remember I used to look at this
Uh-huh.
play, and it used to run like smoothly. Now that shit grainy as fuck. It's like pixelated, all kind of shit. Like, damn. That. Hey, you know what, man? I don't know. Like when when that shit happening, it's like you don't really know that, or if you like you making history and how that play gon' stack up against some of the greats. But when I look back at Walter Payton, Earl Campbell, Barry Sanders, and I look at
Mm-hmm.
they videos and shit, and I'm like, damn, I wonder when they was back then looking at they shit like, ooh, this motherfucking 4DK, like. And then when we see it, it's like, oh, the picture ain't that cool. So I'm thinking like now, the youngsters is looking at that Beastquake run like, damn, OG, that your video hella grainy, got hella pixels and shit. Like when you do this, like in the, you know what I mean? Busting hella jokes on me and shit like, oh, you was born in the 1900s type shit. Like, damn. But nah, that was I mean, that was a big day. And I mean, I don't know. I was just talking to somebody about this situation. Like, we talk about the effort and the grit, the beast mode and all that shit. But if you look at that play for what it's worth, you got offensive linemen, you got quarterbacks, wide receivers down the field, and you got individuals who actually beat me in the end zone. Um, um, Wide receivers and linemen that made it to the end zone before I did. So I mean, it just show you like the amount of like, let me say, like grit that the team had, what I mean, to be in that position and to actually make this play work. And then you feel me, after all of this shit is done, like when I came to the sideline, like my Uncle Lee was on the sideline. Like I really got to, you feel me though, along with my teammates, and the niggas I really fuck with, I got to go onto the sideline and give my uncle, though, you feel me, though, a real hug, which is what I believe made that play like even more like gangster than a motherfucker is probably the easiest way to say it, because who the fuck go score a touchdown and then go to the sideline and give one of their family members a real hug? Like, that's some crazy shit, though.
That's amazing.
Listen,
I want the guys to run it one more time. Where does this stiff arm rank? Because we know Derrick Henry's the stiff arm guy. Talk to me about the stiff arm right here. All right, where does this rank for you? Because you got this guy at about the 35. Man.
I don't know, man. You gonna have to rank that, man.
Okay, all right.
Or
all
look,
right, all right.
when y'all holla at DH, ask that nigga where this one
He's
ranked
coming
at.
on next week.
Perfect.
Dude,
Yeah,
that's
you
right.
threw
cause
that,
that nigga,
bro, you threw that guy out. Watch it. You throw him and he disappears. He just leaves the picture. It's absolutely
come
unbelievable.
on,
That's
man.
one of the
Hey,
all-time
man,
stiff arms.
stall him out, Debo. That's my folks, man. I got a lot of respect for that individual, man. I got a lot of love for Tracy Porter, man. You gotta
Well,
get off
Tracy
him a
well,
little
Porter,
bit,
hell of a
man.
player, man.
He has a
well,
family, man. He got a
He
family.
is.
Marshawn,
He for sure is.
Marshawn,
Yeah,
talk about you guys. You were 7-9 that season. New Orleans was 12 and
exactly.
4. How did you? So
Defending
now,
Super Bowl champions.
yeah. So because of the quirkiness in the way the NFL runs, you guys won your division at 7-9. So you got to host the game. Because you hosted that game, did that give you the confidence, the edge that you needed to make you fully believe that you were going to win that football game? Or just because of your mentality, did you think you would have won the game anyway?
To be honest with you, for whatever reason, I think that was the turn of the identity of who we were gonna be for the next few years. I think that was just the like um the preview to what's to come. And it just so happened that um it was the New Orleans Saints after them, because they just had won the Super Bowl the year before.
Yeah.
So I mean, at that point in that game alone, I don't think it mattered who we would have played. Um,
Right.
I think that I think we was gonna win that one because it was just something that, I mean, it wasn't like game day. It was like something that whole week that, I mean, everybody was different in a sense to where it was like we knew we was gonna win this game. We for sure knew it. I mean, you could tell by the motherfuckers who was upstairs cooking the breakfast and shit. You know what I mean? The way that I'm serious, some real shit.
I feel no, I get it.
The
I
way
get it.
that the janitors was walking, through the building, you know what I mean, cleaning up shit. Most people don't speak to them, but like, you feel me? Everybody in the building, like everybody was on one accord, everybody hollering. We got 3 floors in our practice facility, third, second, and first floor. And everybody was communicating, like everybody knew, like, oh yeah, this one we got. Now after that, motherfucker, yeah, I can't say the same. Yeah, I can't say the same, but for that one, we knew what type of time it was, though.
Mhm. Yep.
Can I
I
ask him
love it.
about his thoughts on to pivot? Can I ask about LeBron? And do you think he will stay in Los Angeles for his final year, or do you think that he will go to Cleveland or Golden State? Any thoughts?
Mm, I mean, if it's anything like a sentimental situation with him, I think he go home.
Ooh,
I
Cleveland.
mean, I just think athletes, if they have the opportunity to make, to make that happen, and it be, like some last stop shit, then it makes
Huh.
sense to go home to do that. It makes
Nice.
sense for that.
All right, let's see
Hey,
what
Marshawn.
happens in the future.
Hey, Marshawn, we can't thank you
What's up
enough,
with it?
man. Like this
Nah,
has
it's
been
all good,
absolutely
pimpin'.
incredible. Absolutely incredible, man. We're all huge fans.
Hold
Go
on,
ahead if
Rick.
anybody has one last question, man.
Hold on, Rick. I gotta get this in. Now,
Yeah, what's up?
Marshawn, Rick and
Here we
I,
go.
we love Mountain Dew. I'm a Mountain Dew fanatic. All right.
Oh, is that
So-
right?
So hold on. So now you give me any color. You give me any color of the Mountain Dew family, I am in. So you know where I'm going with this. In regards to Skittles, what's the best bag of candy? Red, blue, or purple?
Ooh, man, look, the red one is original. You feel me? And then the purple and the blue one. Yeah, I mean the tropical, then the berry. Them motherfuckers go crazy. But yeah, I mean
I agree.
like I said, I'm a old school nigga. So I you feel me? I'm a take a red bag every day.
All right, that's
I'll
cool.
take a
Love it.
red
I
bag
love it.
over any
I can
of them.
deal with that.
Them
I
other ones
agree.
cool for a little change up type situation, but
Yep.
they
All right.
they know who boss.
Yeah. The sour joints, don't sleep on them. Like once in the
Yeah,
blue, that green pack.
yeah. Oh, the sour ones. Yeah, but see though,
Once in the
you
blue.
can't just abuse them. Them have your mind.
Nah, you rip your whole mouth open.
Yeah, for
Too
real,
much
for real.
sour.
Oh, y'all
I
over
like the
there got
pink. I
jokes
like the
like a
pink,
motherfucker.
honestly.
Nah,
Well,
that's
can
when
I
they
ask
start
what's
doing a lot.
Can I ask what's next for Marshawn? What do you got coming up that we should keep on the lookout for?
Well, you know, I mean, they got what's that shit called? They got World Cup coming, and you know,
World
I did some
Cup.
shit with did some shit with FIFA, and I mean FIFA with
Awesome.
Dove and Lays. So I mean, I'm gonna make a few rounds, catch a few games, and see what that soccer life like.
I love it.
I'm just curious on here. Is y'all soccer or is y'all football?
We're more hoops over here.
Basketball.
No, I'm saying,
We
what would you
Oh, the
call
Argentinian
Between
Do we
the
soccer?
two?
Would you
call it
call
soccer or
soccer?
football?
Would you call it soccer or would you
Oh,
call it
soccer.
football?
Soccer.
Soccer.
Football is
Yeah,
football
soccer.
for
Marshawn,
me.
are you coming down to
Yeah.
SoFi for any of the 8 games? Are you going to be here in LA for those games?
Yeah, I'm gonna make it down there for one of them.
That's awesome.
I think
That's great.
Maybe he'll
I
pop
think
into the stew.
my shit. I think my route's gonna be New York, Seattle, and LA.
There you go.
I
Yeah, so
love it.
we'll make it work.
Be exciting, man. Big win
Hell yeah,
yesterday.
well shit, man.
Yes.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I
Balogun.
appreciate it.
Balogun's back.
Thank you, my
Thank
brother.
you so
Marshawn,
much.
Appreciate you.
Marshawn, we're out here cheering for you. We hope the blessings continue to find you and all these great post-playing career opportunities keep coming to you, man. We love you, dude, and you're welcome back anytime. Thank you.
It's all good, man. I
So much,
appreciate
Marshawn.
y'all. Y'all stay blessed.
You too,
You
bro.
too. Thank you.
Let's go
Thank you.
Knicks.
Go
Katie
Knicks.
Felber. Katie Felber.
Strong
Katie
work,
Was
Katie.
that
Strong
Felber.
work.
fun?
Coming through.
Come
He was
on,
great.
man.
Guys, if he comes to LA, I mean, I
Come
can't
on,
promise
man.
it, but it'd be sick if he came into
That'd be
studio.
amazing. That's what I was asking.
Oh yeah,
That'd be
Maybe
absolutely.
he
sick.
can do
That'd
some
be
Heck
sick.
soccer
yeah.
coverage
Absolutely. Yeah.
here on
Yeah.
X-Rated. That'd be fun.
Do a little
Yeah,
interview.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's after the
Yes,
Knicks
sir.
win in game
In
5,
studio.
and I'll be at
After the Knicks win.
the World
Hey,
Cup in
that ain't
Boston.
happening,
Okay.
So
Phil.
Yeah,
guys,
you will.
check out this
In
dilemma. Check
5.
out this dilemma.
Phil.
Check out this dilemma. So I actually, as I told you, or some of you guys off air, that I've invested in the VC with DraftKings called Drive. Um, DraftKings is having an event in Boston, and that's June 16th. So I got tickets to be in the booth for the World Cup, my wife and I, to go there and network with Fitzgerald from the NFL, all those cats. But that's
Nice.
game 6 of the NBA Finals.
Oh
So I haven't told
no.
them yet, but it's either a parade or game 6. And I'm not
Do
going to be there for any of
you do you have the ESPN app on your phone?
that. Nah, bro.
Yeah, just
Nah,
watch
I'm
it on
going
the
to that game.
phone.
I'm going to
Or
the
You're going to
game.
I'm
the
or
going to that
You're
game.
going to
Katie,
And that'll be in New York. Game 6 would be
That's
in New
at the
York.
Garden.
In New
or
York, and
Katie,
they could possibly
does he
It's
win.
not,
does
Doc.
Phil
It's
have
not
the
even a
script
question.
that does
It's
Phil
not
have
even a
the script
question,
that
man.
Marshawn is talking about?
Oh yeah, let's see if we can get that script
Yeah, for
and
real.
Oh
or
yeah,
talk
that's
to
On the
funny.
It's
Morgie.
got to be at
script.
the Garden for the game.
I have no
I know,
idea
I know,
Marshawn,
what
Am.
script
I
it
won't.
is.
I'll be there.
It's not a
dude,
question.
Marshawn's on here dropping NBA conspiracy theories, just matter of fact, talking
Yeah.
about the script. That was
The
so
script.
awesome, dude. Okay, dude, when Marshawn came on, Doc and Dwight were in the midst
Ugh.
of a battle. Where were we? And we're gonna do finals
Well, before the
predictions or
battle,
rant.
why
We're
don't you
gonna
get
get
their
out of here.
picks? No, give their picks. I think I
All
said what
right,
I had to
so
say. Dwight just wants to
all right.
label me as a super fan, and it's not based on anything. What I'm saying, where there's clear
No, that's
evidence
not.
because we beat them so many
That's not what I.
times.
What? How is it clear
You
evidence?
you
Wait, wait,
always
wait, wait,
but
wait,
you
wait.
always put a button on
Hold
it
on.
that
Hold on.
that it's
Hold on.
because I'm a super fan. Oh, he's a super Nick fan, so
No.
that's why he's going to say that. And then you just
Yeah,
dismiss everything I'm saying.
because
Like,
all you spoke about, you only spoke about the Knicks, how this player and this player. You're
no, I spoke
totally
about Stephon
discrediting.
Castle. Stephon Castle
That's one
is
guy.
turnover prone, and he can't defend Karl Anthony Towns. I already went and
No,
I was
but
going to
the
go
thing
through all
is,
of it.
so ever since De'Aaron Fox returned to the lineup, Steph Castle's turnovers went down from 10 to 1.5.
To
You
six.
can't just
To
you
six.
can't gloss
He had
over that.
six. He had
He had 1.5.
6 turnovers.
Okay, no.
He had no one.
Anyway,
How do you have 1.5 turnovers in one game? He
he
had 6 with
no.
De'Aaron
I'm
Fox next
talking
to him.
about
You're
after
trying to talk about
game
an
two,
average.
cuz. Yes,
How many in one
yes.
of those games? He had 6 turnovers with De'Aaron Fox right next to him.
Anyway,
So
Phil, the whole thing is this is a totally different team than what the Knicks have faced all year. It'll be the best defensive team they've ever faced. That's all I'm saying. I am not discrediting the Knicks. You're simply punking off what the Spurs can bring. The Spurs are going to
nope.
win one more than one game. I will say this: there are people online that are giving the Knicks no chance. They think it's going to be a sweep the other way. I don't think that.
They couldn't even sweep Portland. They couldn't even sweep
Because
Portland. They
Portland's
could
good.
they could barely they couldn't sweep the Minnesota Timberwolves, and they're playing horribly. They can barely score 100 points.
You're also
They could
forgetting
barely
though,
score 100
Phil.
points. They're not great shooters, and
This is the first experience for the Spurs. That's why I
that's my.
give the Knicks
You're
a
also
chance of
forgetting. That's
winning.
why you had. Yeah, no, you didn't. You said the Spurs would win in 6 or 7.
Yes, I
You
gave the
said the
Knicks a chance to
Spurs.
win.
Yeah. So
Yes,
you're the
I'm
one
giving the
that's
Knicks a chance
forgetting
to
their
win.
inexperience. You're the one that's forgetting their inexperience.
No,
And
no,
then
I am not. I just think the
lastly,
difference
the
is
cousin of
Wembenyama.
SGA was so good. Everybody's like, oh, he's so great. And then the minute Mikal Bridges gets on him, he's a no-show for the whole series. And that's what's going to happen to anybody that Mikal Bridges is on, whether it be Devin
Really,
Vassell, whether it be
really.
Mr. Harper with his inexperience and injury proneness, and whether it be De'Aaron Fox. Those guys are going to be totally mitigated. They're
I
not going to be able to
respectfully
score over 100
disagree.
points.
I'll
Look,
respectfully disagree.
we
You're
will allow
totally
Wemby to have 40
discrediting.
points a game. We will allow
You are
Wemby to have 40 points a game, which he can't do,
you're
by the way.
totally
He'll probably do it
you're
every other game.
totally your disrespect for
They
the
can't score
Spurs.
enough. They
That's
can't score
where
enough.
that's where that's where fandom comes through, if I may say so. You
So
can't
you
disrespect the
think
Spurs.
so you think all the records the Knicks have broken is just due to inferior
No,
teams?
not at all, not at all.
So
But
who's
one thing,
playing better right now? Who's playing better right now, based
the
off of
Knicks
stats
are.
alone?
The Knicks
Okay,
are.
so why do you pick?
Now
So why are you picking the Spurs?
that's the
Why are you
question
picking the
Because they
right
have
Spurs?
there.
Victor Wembanyama.
Who
That's
has no
why.
experience and he doesn't play well against the Knicks? And
They have Victor
we have all
Wembanyama.
the tools to stop him,
They have
and
Victor
just like the other team.
Wembanyama.
Yeah, and he
They
could
have
barely get
Victor
10
Wembanyama.
rebounds. And he
They
could
have
barely
Let me
get
Victor
jump
10
in here for a
rebounds. And
second.
Wembanyama.
we're not he's
Dwight,
gonna barely get two blocks. Because we're not gonna do stupid
Dwight,
layups where we know he's gonna block it. We're gonna pass to the open 3-point shooter, and then you guys can't keep up with our 3-point shooting.
Who's
Because you
you
could barely
guys?
score 100
I'm not.
points.
oh.
Who's you guys?
The
Yeah,
Spurs
Who's
can
you
barely
I
guys?
like
keep
that.
up. The Spurs can
Now
barely
Dwight's
keep
a
up
Spurs
with the
fan.
Knicks scoring. They can't score. They can't hit enough threes. And guess what? The possessions where they finally do get a shot at three and they miss, the next possession they're going to turn it over. They're not going to have. They're not going to have enough possessions to even score over 100 points. And Victor's
Hey
not
I
Dwight,
scoring
I
disagree.
want
40
to
points.
I want to say
He doesn't
something.
have that
I
bag.
want to say
Victor does
something
not
here.
have an offensive bag. Hold on one second. Victor does not have an offensive bag, and he struggled. Even though his stats are great, he has struggled at times. And do not ignore the fact that he has struggled in some of these
Yes,
games. And he has
I
also
agree.
struggled with rebounding the ball, which the Knicks have no problem rebounding. And in that same game, in the game 7 where they won, OKC was pounding them on the glass and with the offensive rebounds.
You know why? You know why? Do you know why they were pounding them? Because it's a smart strategy, Phil. Do you know why? Answer. Do you know why?
He's just asleep.
What do you do when you have a shot blocker,
He's not
Phil?
asleep.
He's
What do you do when you have a
disassociating.
shot blocker? You crash the glass, right?
I think Doc
Right?
is Doc is resting his case right now.
No. He's just the
He's
thing
rested
is
his
what it
case.
is. For him, all I'm saying is the Knicks are definitely gonna be a formidable opponent. But for him to just totally discredit the Spurs as if they suck 4-1 and no home court advantage, this ain't the
But
Hawks. This ain't
Knicks are
the
going to play
this ain't
better
the
on the
Six-
road. We're going to
this
play
ain't
better
the
on the road. We
Sixers.
closed out people on the
This ain't the
road.
Hawks. This ain't the
We've swept
Sixers.
people
And this ain't the
on the
Cavs.
road. We
That's
will
not
be
who these
better
guys
on the
are.
road.
It's not who they are.
There's no
It's not who
pressure.
they are.
It's hard to play.
It's not.
Yo, there's a pressure
It's not.
cooker in Madison Square Garden. We will be
It's not.
fine on the
It's
road.
not.
We'll actually be happy
Can I,
that's on the road. You know, we'll be
can
more
I bring a
locked in
little
as a team.
rationale to this conversation?
We're
Can I
gonna be
bring a little
more locked
rationale?
in as a team.
Phil,
And so
Can I
Phil,
bring
I
a
there's
don't
little
gonna
mind the
be
rationale?
starting on the road.
some defensive issues for
I love
that the
this.
Spurs pose for
That's
the
the one
Knicks.
game. That's the one game. You guys, we have too much going on for you guys to counteract. And I'm gonna say you guys
Oh man.
until
Who's
the
you
series is
guys?
over. You
It's an
know who
hour
you
and a half
guys
past my
is.
lunchtime. I want a sandwich. Dwight, you got to hear this. Last week when
I'm
I was
listening.
on this show, after my week off, last week, when I was on my Brunson rant, I had to hear from you the prisoner of the moment over and over and over again. Well, guess what? I'm throwing that back in your face a little bit, okay? Because you're
Go
talking
ahead.
about the Spurs with all the momentum and all of this. That's a prisoner of the moment comment. That's where we're at right now because the Knicks have had so much time off, and we've been spending all the last time watching the Spurs and watching Oklahoma City and
Yes.
thinking that because they just
Yep.
won a game 7, they've
Struggle.
got momentum. This is like they've
Ugly
got the momentum
basketball.
and everything's on their side. No, absolutely not. That's not the case. The Knicks have won 11 in a row. The metrics are
Yep.
off the charts, and this is one of the few teams. And Doc, this is where I really agree with you and why I am picking the Knicks in 6. Okay, and I'm being rational about it, not a Knicks fan. This is one of the few times in history where the team was purchased and it's working because Mike Brown has done his job. And what I mean by that, they purchased Cat, they purchased Brunson when he slipped out of the Mavericks, right? They purchased Mikal Bridges for 5 picks. They've purchased everybody basically on this team. OG too in the trade that they made for him out of Toronto. This is not a draft team, but the bench is working. This is 11 in a row, okay? Let's not be prisoner of the moment. The Knicks are ready for this. And here's the other thing. These guys are still young. And I'm not taking anything away from you because they have risen to the moment. Castle and Harper especially have risen to the moment. I want to give them all the credit in the world. But as much as you're saying that Oklahoma City is one of the toughest places to play, yeah, but these guys are prepared for that because this is a Western Conference pro. It is nothing like coming to the Garden for the NBA Finals. They get 3 cracks at it. That's what the Knicks
Harper
have,
knows.
and they
He's the
better
New York
not
guy.
waste. Yeah, they
But
better not
it's
waste
pretty-
any of that if they're going to come in, because
It's
New York's
pretty clear,
New York
but-
is if New York wins 1 of 2 down in San Antonio in this first opening act, the Knicks are going to win the series, and I think that they're going to do that down there because they've learned how to win on the road together over the last 2 series. And I really think they're going to win in 6 because they're not going to squander what's going on back at the Garden. It's not going to be easy going in that building for the Spurs. Not at all.
It's pretty clear that you guys don't read my posts. I've said it, and I've gotten backlash from people. The Knicks are the best team left in these playoffs. I've said that. But all I'm saying
But
is,
you're talking. What got me is you're talking about the fact
You
that
have
there's
discordant
this
thinking
momentum
then
idea.
for you to
this
pick the
idea of
Spurs.
momentum, because that's who we've watched these last 3 games because the Knicks have had so much time off. There's no momentum on the side of the Spurs. I want to take that out of the equation. You did in the beginning of the conversation in the fight. I might be paraphrasing your term, but you talked about whatever the term you used. If we could run back the tape, it was the idea of momentum, or that everything falls towards the Spurs because they've got whatever it is on their side right now. Nah.
yeah,
I
they've got
can't buy into
Wembanyama
that.
on their
This
side.
is a clean slate. No, that's different.
They've
That's
got
different. This is a
Wembanyama
clean
on their
slate.
side. Like
So you think Wembanyama,
never-
Mr.
I never
Giraffe,
spoke about-
Mr.
I
Giraffe
never
is
spoke
somehow going to offensively become a juggernaut and is going to score enough for his team? Look, Castle's going to throw away the ball. It's going to be live turnovers and also just regular turnovers where there's a new possession for the Knicks to run their beautiful offense, which you guys have no answer for. And then we're going to turn you over again. And then when we don't turn you over, when we don't turn you over, you are going to be missing a lot of threes. You're going to be missing a lot of threes because we're going to be defending them.
If you want to have a context conversation, I'm all here for it. But everything
I'm
you're
here for
talking
it.
about is complete disrespect for the Spurs.
It's not.
No,
It's not. It's
no,
not.
it's
Don't
not.
do
To,
that.
You know,
to actually dismiss what I'm
I wanna throw
saying,
something out.
the
There's
generational
this notion of
stats is
history.
actually you dismissing the Knicks' greatness. They have been
You know
great
what?
this
Yeah,
playoffs, and you're
this is-
dismissing that.
yeah,
And then
who
lastly,
knows-
Dwight,
and who knows if
lastly,
they're gonna
Dwight,
keep
hold
it
on,
up.
hold on, Am,
Phil,
hold on, Am,
you
hold on,
read
hold
my
on, hold
posts all
on.
the time.
Lastly,
You read my posts
lastly,
all the time, Phil.
that's what I'm
You
trying to
saw what I
ask. I'm
said.
actually trying to address this. I'm trying to address your
I called
post.
the Knicks
Why
the
did you
best team
explain
in
that?
the NBA. That's what I called
Yes, explain that. Explain that.
Yes.
So why did you pick the Spurs?
because the separator is Victor Wembanyama.
No,
Come
he's
on.
not. Dwight, he's not. He's not. He's not.
All right.
And he hasn't been the separator all season.
One thing
He's the
about
most
this,
valuable
one thing
player in
we've
the
all
NBA.
seen a lot about
He's
this.
the best defense. Phil, you're missing the whole thing. You
He
can
got
have the
blown
best
out
team.
at home. It's going to happen again. And you barely beat
They're
us at
not the
home.
best. Okay.
And the only reason it was close was because of Julian Champagny, not because of Victor Wembanyama. He didn't have that
Let's
effect
actually
against
talk
the Knicks.
about-
The
let's
most
actually talk
effect
about
he's
something
had
very
against the Knicks.
interesting.
Hold on, Am. The most effect he's actually had during this whole time, his whole tenure in the NBA, is in that Christmas Day game. That was the best we saw of Victor Wembanyama, and they ended up losing that game as well. We actually herbed him up, made him like a little child in his first game in Madison Square Garden. Go
That
back
was
and look
2
at the
years
tape.
ago,
He was.
Phil.
It doesn't matter.
That was
He still
2
has
years
shown that
ago.
same. He still has shown that
What are
in
you
some
talking
series.
about?
Barely can
Phil.
get 10 rebounds, if at
Phil.
6 rebounds, and he's barely scoring
right.
sometimes. I'm telling you.
Good.
All right,
And
one
he's
thing
emotional.
we can all agree on.
He's emotional.
One thing we can
He's
all
gonna
agree
get
on. That's going
frustrated.
to be
He'll quit.
cool. One thing we can all
What?
agree on that's pretty cool. 27 years
What?
ago, when
You
these
see-
two
hold on,
teams,
wait.
Dwight,
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Am. Go ahead.
27 years ago when these teams met in the finals, right? This is the last time the Knicks made the finals. It was against the Spurs. Okay?
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody remembers this, but neither of those teams over 5 games hit 100 points. Neither team. And in
I
fact,
saw
the
them.
Knicks
I remember.
didn't hit 90 points once. Well, we're in a whole different era. We're in a whole different place.
Yeah.
This is going to be exciting. The over-under on game 1, which is in San Antonio, by the way, is close to 220 already. So we're in for a
You
hell
know
of a
what's
series.
funny?
And this is exciting. Yeah.
This Spurs team also struggles to score 100 points, just like the 1999 teams.
Yeah. By
The
the way,
Knicks don't.
and that favors the Knicks. That favors the Knicks ultimately,
Exactly.
especially if they can play the defense.
They struggle.
funny.
And that's why I'm picking
And
them.
our
That's why I'm picking
defense-
them in 6.
Our defense is
Katie,
just as
who
good
you
as their
picking?
defense. And guess
We
what?
gotta
We
hear
also
from Katie.
we also end our defensive possessions with rebounding. We will dominate you guys in the glass, offensive
I'm getting a
rebounds
sandwich.
and
Okay,
defensive
Hicks.
rebounds.
Do it.
So
It's 2:30 already.
defensively, we got it.
Guys,
All right.
I don't have all of these intricate reasons
front of the camera.
except for I'm going with my gut. Knicks in, I'm just saying 7 because, I don't know, I like the number 7. The Corgi has also been predicting that. And I also will say that Mike Brown, I wrote this down earlier, he has coached De'Aaron Fox in Sacramento. So I think he has like some inside knowledge on how
Great
to
point.
play against him. So that is key. And it's just there's so much momentum and energy right now behind the city of New York. Like I lived there for 9 months. It got too cold for me. I moved back. But when I lived there, I felt the energy of the city and it's electric. I mean, you have Timothée Chalamet, Ben Stiller, Spike Lee, you have Dr. Phil right here. It's always weird when I say Dr. Phil. I think of Dr. Phil. But yeah, I'm going with Knicks, you guys. I think it's going to be a battle, but yeah, I'm going to say Knicks in 7.
Hey, can I get that bobblehead, please? I'd like to get it.
That
So Rick,
bobblehead
who you
is
got?
phenomenal.
Rick, who you got?
So I'm going to tell you in 1 minute.
Spurs and 6.
I'm going to tell you in a second. I need a number from Dwight. Dwight, I love you, bro. I can't do the Spurs in 6 or 7. Like, what's the call?
Spurs, I think they're going to win it at home. Spurs in 7.
Spurs in 7. All right. So thank you, Dwight. So I have a 2-pronged answer here. Who do I have in the series? Spurs in 7 is my prediction. Okay. I called it mid-season. I have no reason to deviate from it right now, despite all of the great points that Dr. X made. They're my pick to win this thing. I've just thought they've been the best team in basketball since mid-season. Obviously, they have Wemby. But the Wemby dynasty, in my opinion, is probably going to start. Now, I don't think the Knicks have a great matchup for him with Karl Anthony Towns and the foul trouble thing. Mitch Robinson with the broken finger. I hope he's fine. And then I think they're going to put OG Anunoby on him at times. He's given up 9 inches to Wemby. And I know that OG has a very, very long wingspan. But I think that's going to be tough. Jalen Brunson averages 26 and 7 against San Antonio. Those are literally his numbers, okay? And I think he will do that. However, I think Brunson needs to go 30-plus on average in this series for the Knicks to win. Because I think Cat is going to come down a little bit. He was 16 a game versus the Spurs in the regular season. So, to me, Brunson's going to have to live between 30 and 35. Can he do it against Castle and Vassell and all these guys? And I've been saying for a while the best 5 in ball is Wemby, Castle, Vassell, Fox, and Harper. Now, who am I rooting for? Big difference. The Knicks. Because if the Knicks don't win this year, probably not happening. The Wemby dynasty is about to begin, whether it's this year, next year. You got to get it now before Wemby cracks the code. You remember Jordan, once he cracked the code, Gary Payton couldn't get one. Sean Kemp couldn't get one. Barkley couldn't get one. Malone and Stockton couldn't get one. And we go on and we go on and we go on. Patrick Ewing, sorry, Doc, couldn't get one, right? Because he just gobbled it all up. So I got Wemby winning 6 rings. Reggie Miller, thank you. Great call. Clyde Drexler before he went to Houston and got one. But I want New York. I want Dr. X. I want you all to feel that, savor that, taste that. Ski goggles, champagne, parade. I want it. So that's what I'm cheering for. And you guys know I'm a Wemby-aholic, okay? And I went from being a Wolves fan to a Spurs fan. The Timberwolves are now my side piece team. That's all. Nothing's changed with that. But for the next 2 weeks, I'm cheering for the Knicks because Dr. X deserves a parade. A.M. Pfeffer deserves a parade. Jason Arabulo deserves a parade. He's our producer. Adam Smirnoff deserves a parade. Adam Deitch deserves a parade. They're from Lettuce. Walt Clyde Frazier deserves a parade. Mike Breen deserves a parade. Timothy Chalamet deserves a parade. I know.
Mitch Lawrence.
I'm just riffing here. And finally, George Costanza. deserves a parade. Let's go Knicks. That's where I'm at, yo. I just want to say one thing before we do the rants, okay? Dwight and the Dwight Doc debate was, gosh, because Doc, you had two epic debates with B.Dot, the Derrick Rose one, and then I think the Detroit, New York one. So that was an all-timer right there. But I just want to say something on Dr. X's behalf. When he started talking his SHIT about Detroit midseason, I thought his Knick fandom was coming out. He was absolutely proven correct. When Dr. X was talking his smack about the Boston Celtics, I thought his Knick fandom was coming out. He was absolutely right. Okay, so I'm no longer that's no longer a thought process for mine. If he's wrong about his analysis with Spurs and Knicks, okay, that's fine. But he has proven me twice that it's not fandom. Mm-hmm. This is how he sees it, and it's literally coming to fruition. So that's just what I wanted to say on that.
Yeah, but Rick,
go ahead.
Well, but Rick, to give the Spurs one game,
but it's his opinion. It's his opinion. I mean, I got Spurs in 7, so Knicks in 5 is very deviant from what I have. But this dude all year long has been hitting the nail on the head. I mean, I'm just play-by-play in the action over here.
So Dwight, when I said Cavs would lose in 4 games and be swept, was that disrespectful, or Philly being swept?
Good point. Nobody was saying Nobody was saying Knicks in 4. I said Knicks in 5, I believe, right?
Yeah.
But like, Doc, you remember? Oh, the Cavs are going to scare the Knicks. They're going to be a formidable opponent. I'm like, the hell they are. I knew they wouldn't be a formidable opponent.
Again, you know what? It's. I don't want to disrespect anybody's opinion, but I also have belief in the mindset of a professional athlete. There's no way, shape, or form that I think both the Sixers, the way they played against the Celtics, and the Cavs, although they went through a tough 7-game series, that I think they wouldn't win a game. I always give respect to a team to win a game. So when I hear my cousin say it's going to be a sweep, I don't believe him.
I did. I said I gave him a game. I gave him a game. I gave the Spurs a game. So, cuz, how many points do you think Victor Wembanyama is going to average in this game?
25.
In this series?
25.
25?
Yeah.
So you just think his offensive package is just so unstoppable because he's tall? So you really think his effect? You really think his effect will be? You think Victor's impact is going to be on the defensive end? So do you think the Knicks are going to score over 100 points in every game?
I believe so. Yeah.
Oh, so why? You don't think his defense is that? You don't think his defense is going to stop us from scoring over 100 points?
Phil. They're professional players.
Okay.
They can
so
score.
You have the Knicks scoring over 100 points, and the Spurs struggle to score over 100 points against multiple teams.
The Spurs are going to score 100 points, Phil. The Spurs
against a very good Knicks
points.
defense. Okay.
As are the Spurs.
We'll see.
Phil.
Okay. There's going to be some big margin blowouts coming up. Strap in.
It goes down.
Based on what?
Give Wemby some. Give Wemby some tissues. I'm good. That's all I got to say.
All right.
Doc, do you have? It's time to transition into the rant. Do you have anything further to add?
Nah, I'm good. Mic is dropped. I don't want to be too insufferable. You're too insufferable on my first day back.
So you're dropping the mic before the series. Beware, Phil. Beware.
It's okay, Dwight. I don't believe in all that superstitious crap. I can say what I want with my chest. Knicks got to play the games. They're the pros. They're the ones that train. The training staff is the one that takes them up. I have nothing to do with that outcome.
We know.
I'm just proud. I'm just proud of how well the Knicks have played, and it shows more than just sweeps.
We all
it's showing it. Yeah. No, you're not. It's showing in every regard, defensively and offensively.
I'll give you a super quick rant here, guys. Sean Sweeney has been hired by the Orlando Magic. I think this makes the Magic a serious dark horse. Maybe not like a top contender for Giannis, but they already had conversations about Paulo and Giannis, right? Sean Sweeney was with Giannis in Milwaukee from 2014 to 2018. Sean Sweeney was Giannis's developmental guy, his primary developmental guy, and his primary workout partner. Sean Sweeney and Giannis spent hundreds of hours together. Like, what's the number? Thousands of hours together. There's no way they're not boys, right? There's no way there's not like a really strong relationship there. And so I just want to put that out there. Like, to me, that's the big thing here with Sean Sweeney getting that job. He's the Spurs defensive coordinator, and he's terrific. And then I just want to kind of get real for a minute on the word patience. And maybe we've touched on this, but I'm drumming at the beach over the weekend, right? And I want to start with the headline. Patience is the pathway to peace. Write it down, people. Patience is the pathway to peace. I'm living this right now. I've had a lot of lack of peace in my life from what? Well, a lot of things, but a lot of times lack of patience, okay? Being irritable, that kind of thing. So I'm drumming at the beach, eyes closed, lost in the music. Old man comes up, taps me on the shoulder 3 times, right here. Boop, boop, boop. So the 30-year-ago me, the 30-year ago version of me, I'm standing up and I'm in his face. Like, we're not immediately coming to blows, but I'm like, what is that, bro? Because it's completely disrespectful. Walk up on somebody, they have no idea you're there, and you tap their shoulder, okay? He asked, what are you doing here? And why are you here? I'm a human on a beach playing drums. Hello? How do I need to? So anyway, okay, so like it's starting to escalate a little bit, right? And he says to me, how long are you going to be out here? You going to be out here all day? And I go, I'm actually, the guy was such a you-know-what. And I go, actually, I was going to go till sunset. And it was like 5:30, and that's like 3 hours away. I play for long, long stretches. So that was a major buzzkill for this guy, right? And he goes, well, you've been out here all day. You've been here since noon. And I go, homie, I literally started at 2:42 p.m. I kept track of it because, sun intake and that kind of, oh, no. Anyway, every initial impulse was to tell this dude what's up, okay? And all of those impulses were muted by patience. This patience that I am working on and finding comes from God and Jesus, okay? I've prayed on it. We've talked about it. They're working me with it. They're giving me grace for it. But I now know if I'm stuck in traffic, if I'm stuck at a Costco traffic jam because 8 million people are waiting to get gas at Costco. Patience. So I'm going to be somewhere 5 minutes later or 3 minutes later than I had planned. Patience. Who cares, right? So I just wanted to say that God is phenomenal. And if we could all just add a little bit more patience, and like when you're triggered, the key is to recognize when you're triggered and escalated and inflamed, and then just patience and just shut it off. Okay. It's difficult. Trust me. I'm a hardwired guy. I'm a feisty, competitive mofo. Okay. But I'm telling you, patience is the pathway to peace, and thank you, God. And that's all I got on that. So let's go to Katie Felber for her rant or final thoughts here.
Hello. Well, yeah, I forgot that you guys do these rants, and I prepped something for basketball, but I will say that patience is also the path to peace, and the power of now as well is something that I am always trying to ground myself in, because, we're predicting Knicks in 7, we're predicting all of these things, and it activates our nervous system. But at the end of the day, here we are in beautiful Los Angeles, California, and New York and Florida, enjoying each other's company. So I'm going to talk about LeBron. So guys, I said it before 3 times on the show. I heard a report from Rick that the Clippers are the favorites to land LeBron if he doesn't stay with the Lakers or return to Cleveland. You guys, I'd rather see him go to Cleveland than the Clippers. I I cannot with this Intuit Dome. I don't know if you guys have been there, but it feels like the Minority
Yeah,
Report.
we
You
have.
have to actually like
Yeah.
scan everything,
It's too
like
much.
give away
Rick
your
and I,
Yeah.
DNA, your Ancestry.com results. Like it's actually so stressful. And also I do feel like the Clippers are low-key kind of cursed. So yeah, that would just make no sense. I don't know where you heard that report, but I veto it, and I'd rather see him go to Cleveland. But in all honesty, for his final chapter, we've got to see him in purple and gold. And I'm going to keep manifesting that as I meditate later tonight. Thank you, guys.
It was Katie. Thank you. You've been tremendous. It was a report, something I saw on Twitter from Shams or Dan Wokey or something like that. Super quick. So the guy that was buzz killing me, right? So I just cut it off. Just want to wrap up the story. So I cut it off and I said, sir, have a great day. God bless you. I'm going to relocate. I literally picked all my stuff up and went to another beach, right? So difficult for me to do, but I felt so good about it afterward, right? I was like, dude, you just did the right thing. You were confronted with an opportunity to create a scene and you literally did the right thing. And so
the path of least resistance. Yeah, the path of least resistance.
I'm telling you, it is so important. All right, AM Pfeffer, man. How was the sandwich? Were you able to get one, or you?
I got half one in, and it fueled me enough to have this rant. So thank you very much. I had to step off screen and do that, so I appreciate everybody's allowing me to do that. My rant, I want to go back to the Board of Governors vote a little bit. I'm still like reeling and wrapping my head around the fact that it was 29-1 to expand the authority, right? Not just that it was passed so easily, but there was 20. I mean, obviously Memphis was like, yo, where's our Utah pick going?
Yeah,
of course, they're
because it hurts them, right.
But like 29-1 to give Adam Silver all this authority to do what he needs to do after the fact and start moving slots around and moving people around. And we have no idea, obviously, how this is going to look. There's so much more to think about how trades are going to look in the future, especially with this upcoming draft. And we wonder how many trades are going to happen between now and the next 3.5 weeks when the draft takes place. So, but all these teams have a lot more to think about because the ping pong balls look a lot different between 1-4 and 4-10. It's so much more nuanced. But to give Adam Silver that level of authority is a true vote of confidence in him. We've spoken a tremendous amount about Silver on this show. I think for the most part, we've been behind him and we've enjoyed what he's done and we believe in him as the governor of the NBA. And wow, did the board of, or as the commissioner of the NBA, and wow, did the Board of Governors really give that vote of confidence? 29-1. Because to me, I expected that to be an issue ultimately when the vote was cast, that it was like, are we really going to give this much authority to this man? And they seem to think no problem. There are huge changes, huge ramifications coming from this vote and from what's going to happen in future drafts. I'm fascinated by it. I think we all should be. And I'm curious to see what happens not only just the next 3.5 weeks, but over the next 3.5 years. I mean, this gets implemented immediately, right? They're not even like waiting a year or two to see where this all goes and let some of this, the other stuff in the CBA play out. Noodles is part of my rant, but big stuff in our league. Really, truly, it's only 4 days old. Let's see where it all goes.
I'm looking forward to watching some bad team basketball, Dwight Walton, in March and April of 2027 that doesn't completely suck, right? Because even the bad teams are going to be going for it now. Dwight, bring us home with your rant, big fella.
Listen, I want to celebrate. I have no rant. I want to celebrate my family. I don't know if you guys saw the picture of myself and some of the women in my family. We went out for dinner last week at a very well-known spot here in Montreal called Bistro Nola. And I did it because a very proud and happy moment for our family is going to be happening later on this month at the end of June. My niece, Alyssa Walton, is going to be having her first child. And I just want to tell her that I love her very much, that this truly is going to be a village raising a child. We're very much looking forward. It's going to be a girl. She's going to have a daughter. So I'm gonna have another niece and our grandniece in this case, and looking so forward to it. All the preparations. She had her baby shower yesterday. Just the whole. I could feel the love just swarming and swelling in our family. I'm looking so forward to it. God has blessed us. God has blessed my niece, and now all we're praying for, is a happy and safe birth and welcoming her daughter to the world and to our family. I'm looking so forward. There's the picture right there. I'm looking so forward to it. Uh, I feel the love. I feel the blessings. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm happy for my niece, Alyssa Walton.
God bless y'all,
Mazel
Dwight.
tov.
Congrats on the new arrival to the Walton family. That's absolutely amazing, man.
Thank
I'm going to
you.
make the wrap up here short and sweet. First of all, Katie, you absolutely crushed it. You hit 3 home runs today. Your takes have been great. You got Marshawn Lynch. I mean, thank you. You
Strong
just
work,
really
Katie.
were at a
Strong work.
super high
My
level
pleasure.
today.
I love working with you guys. It's
Thank
so
you.
fun to come here. Maybe when he's here for FIFA, we can get his ass into the studio.
That'd be amazing.
Definitely.
100%.
Hey, let's stay posted.
What
Yes.
one last moderate cuss word, nowhere near
Oh, sorry.
what Marshawn hit us with, but no, it's
I
completely
forgot.
fine. I'm just messing around.
That
All
was
right,
cool.
huge
That
thanks.
was whatever.
Hey, dude, me and AD had Pat Beverly on NBA radio, and it was much the same, okay? And like every other
for
word,
sure.
it was crazy. That's on NBA
YouTube,
radio.
thank
It was
God.
kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, I love you guys. For Kai and Jason, they did a phenomenal job. They always do. We love them. We shout them out. So big thanks to Caron Butler for joining the show. He's amazing. Big thanks to Marshawn Lynch for joining the show. For Dwight, for Doc, for AM, for Katie, for you. I am Cam. We will see you Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time with the next edition of Beyond the Surface on the X-Rated Sports Network. Bye-bye.
And the truth get exposed. Let's talk about it.